or on your way to work. And if you're already chasing the day's first responsibility, I hope that today treats you kindly. Whatever you're up to today, I genuinely hope that it goes well. I hope that you succeed at it, no matter how small it may look. But sometimes the things we're doing do not look big, and sometimes the progress is not even visible. But this morning I want to tell you to keep trying. You keep trying, but the results are not showing. You keep pushing, but nobody is clapping. Sometimes you show up, but nobody is looking at you. It feels like nothing is changing. Just do not lose hope. I mean, this is a very popular saying that little drops of water, they say that it makes a mighty ocean. And sometimes it is the little things in life that matter most, that later become the big things. The small discipline, the small prayer, the small savings, the small efforts, the small decision to try again, the small courage to show up even when you are tired. So maybe what you're doing now does not look like much. Maybe the business is slow. Maybe the course is difficult. Maybe the job is not giving you what it should give. Maybe the dream is taking too long. But I want to tell you that it is not in vain. Listen to this, it will all add up. The little steps, the small efforts, the quiet sacrifices, the days you did not quit, the mornings you woke up and tried again. One day, you will look back and realize that what looked very small was actually preparing you for something very, very big. So keep showing up, keep giving your best, keep learning, keep trying, keep believing. And even if today does not give you everything you want, let it not take away your hope. That is my small word for you this morning as I welcome you to Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. It's Thursday morning, the 28th day of May 2026. And as always, Sunrise has another power-packed show lined up for you. Massive thanks to George Craning for bringing us the latest in business news. It's been raining the past few days. We'll get in touch with Felicity Afianyo to talk to us about what to expect for today. What the skies are planning for you. And then we'll get into the news review segment. We'll be looking at the major stories the newspapers are carrying today, the headlines making the round, the issues behind the headlines, and what they mean for you. And of course, we'll not just read them, we will break them down, connect the dots, and help you form an informed opinion before the day fully begins. Later, we'll make time for sports as well on the show. There's plenty happening in the world of sports. Here at home, the Ghana Football Association, Black Stars, building toward upcoming international assignments. Of course, in the bigger World Cup picture. Beyond Ghana, attention is also turning to the UEFA Champions League final. PSG and Arsenal set for a huge European night of football on Saturday. Much later this morning, we enter into a big conversation. We're asking about the Billion City Games. That is what we're calling it this morning. The 13th African Games, national pride or national waste. You know that Ghana hosted the African Games with excitement, with color and national pride. But when the bills, when the audit findings and accountability questions start, when they start coming in, we must ask whether we built a legacy or we simply spent heavily for applause. And did we even get the applause at all? We'll get into all of that this morning on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. also be looking at coming home with nothing. Who rebuilds the lives of the evacuated Ghanaians? Congratulations to the Foreign Affairs Ministry for bringing about 300 Ghanaians back home from South Africa. Now that they are home, what next? What happens after the cameras leave? Who helps them to rebuild? Is there a plan for reintegration? Is there a plan for jobs, counseling, dignity, and a second chance? On paper, they say there is. But what really is the situation? 300 more Ghanaians arriving in the country looking for jobs. There's a promise that they will get one, but there are millions of Ghanaians already here who do not have jobs. How then do we reconcile the promise to the evacuated Ghanaians from South Africa? We'll get into all of that this morning on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. We'll do some politics as well. Should political parties open their internal elections to all members? Should party democracy remain in the hands of a few delegates? Or should every card-bearing member have a voice in choosing the leaders and candidates of the party? Would that deepen democracy, or it would create problems of cost, control, and confusion? So yes, it's a full morning here. And of course, I'm not doing this alone. Most importantly, I'm doing this with you listening wherever you are. You can join us on our social media platform on Facebook at 3FM927. I'll also be here with Johnnie Hughes. Okay, Codjoe is here already, and together we'll walk you through the morning with the energy, the honesty, and the clarity you deserve. My name is Crosby, Annan. This is Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Good morning, Ghana. Let's get into it.
3FM Sunrise. Sunrise on 3FM.
Another real life story.
3FM Sunrise.
Hustling from Chaka to Mambrobi, from a Simon to Kotobabi, with a burn under the sun, but still give Jaja the glory. Well then. Sometimes he be duck chain and they carry. Meet by bra, I they rush, I they hurry. Hey, got about for where he be like, say, Kaya yo, I go marry. Anyway,
3FM Sunrise.
I'm not in this alone, because somebody they sweat for the air condition. He below need the home. Send me the mitibu bone as a one day me. As a one day me. One I'm a done when I want to bet you a titi. A lot of mercy. Send me the mitibu bone as a one day me. As a one day me. One I'm a done when I want to bet you a titi. A lot of mercy. Nobody no tomorrow. Nobody no tomorrow. Osilla never envy another man. Osilla never envy another soul. Cause you never know whatever the plan. But who know I gonna reap whatever you sow. And then be happy for the people who succeed. Because everything that you wish for them, the same you receive. Karma is a man you can deceive. Success is a state of mind, don't be caught up in greed. No matter what you do, the rich man die. No matter what you say, the poor man dies too. We are hustling, but for a while someday we are going to...
Well, the peppers are here now. Before we get into it, I'd like to say good morning to Codjoe. Good morning. How are you, Senior?
Good morning.
It's good to see
my
you,
my brother. I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm well, thank you. How's Thursday morning looking like?
It's looking quiet and sunny
and peaceful, eh? After the holiday yesterday, did you get some salam meat from your Muslim friends?
You can imagine, as usual. always.
They did not give me. They said I'm not Muslim. They say when it's Christmas, I don't mind them, so they too don't mind me. So they did not give me anything. Anyways, this morning I'll start with the Daily Gist newspaper. On the front page, government reclaims 800-acre Galamsey site in Nkrofo. Comes with the pictures of Emmanuel Amakofi Bois. He's the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, presenting the contract to RM EcoStore Ghana Limited official at the site. Also, BOG races to SC. I'm talking about Supreme Court over GN Bank rebuilding. Now you know that the Bank of Ghana has gone to the Supreme Court to appeal the decision that went in favor of Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum. 300 Ghanaians arrived from South Africa. That story is on page 5 of the paper. Mustafa Yusuf cited in 579 million cedis African Games scandal. That's on page 2. One of the stories that we'll be getting into this morning. Also, Ghana is sitting on time bomb CDM wants. That's on page 2 of the paper. And when I talk about CDM, I mean the Center for Democratic Movement. They've issued a stark warning that Ghana may be heading toward a dangerous social and economic crisis if government fails to urgently address what it describes as growing institutional breakdowns across the healthcare, agriculture, and cocoa sectors. Also, detained MP fights for bail in Amsterdam on page 3 of the Daily Just newspaper. Tema aircraft crash report out. That's on page 4 of the Daily Just newspaper. Now to the news center. It says that Baumia urges unity, sacrifice at Eid al-Adha. Also, 300 evacuated from South Africa arrive home on page 10 of the News Center newspaper. Government to restore 800 acres of River Subriga Lamsey ravaged lands. Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa is pictured here to be saying, diamond producing gold before ratification lawful. Dr. Mantiao and President highlights unity, faith, national progress at Eid al-Adha prayers. These are the stories that the News Center is presenting on its front page. The Observer says that government receives first batch of Ghanaian evacuees from South Africa, and Eid al-Adha, be responsible, avoid drugs, Mahama tells Ghanaian youth. Tour advances comeback with 1 million barrels of Bonga crude delivery. Kumasi to host funeral of Sami Jemfi's father-in-law this weekend. These are some of the stories that the Observer is talking about. And then finally, 2 more from me. The Accra Times newspaper, Afoko unveils 3 hours strategy to rebrand NPP ahead of 2028. The internal elections of the party is heating up. The race to become chairman and general secretary of the NPP. It is heating up as the days go by. Parliament values your work. Speaker Gbagbo encourages parliamentary staff. UNIMAC sets board vision for 2030. Leave a legacy, nurture talent. Clerk urges parliamentary staff and HR director tax staff to contribute meaningfully to transformation. A Kumfi MP honored at ACI World Congress Awards. The Accra Times has these stories. And finally, is the Custodian newspaper. It says that AG makes U-turn at Supreme Court, backs NDC in delegate system case, and crackdown on free speech at Akutu Mahama. Government to restore Galamsey lands, 800 acres targeted in Nkrofo. Lawsuit looms over NDC's e-visa rollout duplicating, and NPP celebrates loyal party stalwart as Papa at 100. These are some of the stories that the Custodian is reporting. Kate, what do you have?
I have the Spider newspaper. On the front page, it says why the president should hold Exim Bank accountable for production and job capacity losses from 2017 to 2026. The 24-hour economy agenda cannot thrive if Exim Bank fails to sustain industries. It also says Ghana's transparency drive needs cash, political will, says the minister. And on page 3, it says 13 killed in horror Akomadan highway crash after risky overtaking attempt.
Yeah, we saw the videos and the images of that accident.
Yeah,
very terrible, gory.
And then they take us to Nigeria. It says Tinubu's leadership earns strong endorsement from Ghana-based support group. And then the last one for the Spider newspaper, Dutch court grills Ghana MP Ohene Kwame Frimpong over fraud allegations as bail application goes before judges. That's for the front page of the Spider newspaper. And then we have the New Republic newspaper. Mahama gets 2.6 billion vote of Mahama gets $2.6 billion vote of confidence. And we have bail plea lodged for MP in Dutch fraud case. An ex-minister, Yusuf, two others to refund 579 million Ghana cedis as forensic audit exposes shocking rot. Hotel rooms billed at US 50. There's another story here that captures a Ghanaian hairdresser severely injured in SA as violent manhunt escalates. Mahama dangles 100 million Ghana cedis for technical universities, but budget reality looms. And Ghana evacuates citizens from South Africa as xenophobia rages. Mahama pressured to punish Goldfields. Then we have the Daily Banner. Adamus Resources distances itself from Miko essay over alleged regulatory breach in Mali. And we have Boache Jakon condemns arrest of MPP activists. And government intensifies nationwide land reclamation drive to combat Galamsey devastation as Lands Minister leads 800-acre project at Nkrofo. Mahama's new e-visa rollout faces legal minefield over existing 10-year deal. And why more parents are talking about beware schools. That's all I have for today.
Right. This story is interesting. The lawsuit over the e-visa rollout, what's it saying? It is also captured on the Custodian newspaper on page 2 of the paper. What it's saying is that fresh controversies brewing over the planned rollout of an electronic e-visa system by the government of the NDC. Now, this is because a contractor, TGN Digital Security Ghana Limited, has warned the President Mahama administration that proceeding with the initiative could expose the stage to significant financial liabilities and potential judgment debts. The issue centers on claims by TGN and its Swiss partner that they already hold a valid 10-year public-private partnership agreement with the government of Ghana under the previous NPP administration, covering the automation of visa processing services, including e-visa capabilities at the foreign missions and the Kotoka International Airport. It says that effective immediately, all holders of African passport traveling to Ghana for business or tourism will apply for visas exclusively via the new online e-visa platform, and they will pay no visa fee. President Mahama announced during the launch on AU Day. I'm talking about Monday, May 25, 2026. So during the official launch of the project in Accra, the Minister for Foreign Affairs claimed this was a novel initiative, insisting there were no processes initiated by the immediate past government. However, in a letter addressed to the presidency, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other state institutions, TG and Digital Security argue that the proposed e-visa rollout duplicates systems and infrastructure already developed under an existing contract approved by Cabinet, authorized by the Public Procurement Authority, and ratified by Parliament. So, looking like a standoff there, and it has emerged after the Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced plans to launch a new e-visa platform as part of Ghana's broader digital border management reforms. I don't know what you make of this. I think not to look at the technicalities entirely, but the idea of a certain lack of continuity. This is what TGN is saying, that a contract was signed 10 years ago. They have a 10-year agreement. And then, because a new government is in place, true or not, the contract may exist or may not exist. A new government wants to introduce something else. There's a threat or the possibility of judgment debt and all of that.
Yes, for me, I listened to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa.
Right.
At the launch. And, you know, he emphasized that some of those rumors need to be relegated,
Right.
because they don't carry any weight. He has sought substantive advice from the Attorney General, and has been rest assured
That this does not exist.
yes.
I see.
So I'll take his word for it. He's a performing minister. We are thankful that his leadership has brought 300 Ghanaians back home. The ongoing xenophobia in South Africa, and I think he's trending for the good reasons.
Yes, yeah.
But I'll take his word on that. And should it happen that it turns out differently, then we'll hold them to their word.
The company says this is a contract. The initial support period spans from 2022 to 2027, and then there are provisions for an automatic extension for another 5 years from 2027. And they maintain that the agreement is valid, it is unterminated, and adding that no breach notices, performance default notices, or termination procedures have been communicated to them by the government. Well, like you said, so we'll take the word of the minister's word for it,
Of course.
and then if it turns out otherwise,
Yeah.
we're here. We'll talk about it, and then all the backlash they deserve we'll give to them. But hopefully, we don't get to that point. Hopefully, we know there's a proper end to all of these, the happenings, the duplication of contract, judgment, debts, continuity, amongst others.
Yes.
But the idea of an e-visa system is good.
Indeed.
That idea is very good. It is the appendages that we have to look at. Do you have any more stories for us?
I think one of the stories that is making headlines is the All-African Games. And that we see the ex-minister Yusuf and two others to refund 579 million Ghana cedis as forensic audit exposes shock and rot. Yes, on page 3, the New Republic captures quite a bit. Story by Gifty Boateng. It reads, "The mask has fallen. A forensic audit into Ghana's disastrous hosting of the 13th African Games has uncovered a staggering 579 million Ghana cedis, 44 million US dollars, and 629,000 euros in financial irregularities. And 3 former top officials have been ordered to pay back every pesewa." The report, commissioned by President John Dramani Mahama shortly after he assumed office, has laid bare a story of breathtaking greed, systemic procurement breaches, and what auditors describe as highly irregular and financially damaging expenditure patterns. At the center of the storm are Mustafa Yusuf, former Youth and Sports Minister, William Kate, former Chief Director, and Dr. Kweku Ofosu Asare, former Local Organizing Committee Chairman. The Auditor General has directed that monies deemed unjustified or improperly spent be refunded to the state. I think this particular headline forms part of today's big conversation.
Right.
So we will dig into it more during the big conversation segment.
The audit findings very disturbing, and like you mentioned, we'll talk about it more during the big conversation segment. But it cuts across the findings. They cover catering, accommodation, transport, sports, anti-doping, broadcasting. Every part of the 13th African Games came under scrutiny, and there are concerns everywhere. There's not one single place in the audit findings that said, "Oh, okay, this place, their hands are clean." Maybe Johnnie has some perspective on the happenings at the African Games. You've seen the findings.
Don't try to spark me. I came very peacefully today after celebrating the Eid, and I've avoided joining this conversation for some time. But yesterday we went to do some saraka around the places. that we have to go and do Saraka and we want to especially thank Lawyer Zuma of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority,
Right.
and all the other benefactors who don't want to be mentioned for the good things that we did. But Crosby,
It's as well.
does it make sense to you, right, that this is the 13th African Games, and we have had a series of these things? You remember the minister who had money in the bag that got missing? You remember that?
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
The dollars that got missing, or the green bag that was swapped. You remember that? Sometimes we have to remind the people.
Is it Malamisa?
Yes, Malamisa. You remember how we bought Chichenga with money? You remember that? You remember that? You remember that? No, you tell me. But you are the one sparking me. So now I'm beginning.
It's all coming together nicely.
No, I'm just hitting the engine.
Step on the gas.
So that we can know. Now I'm hitting the engine. You remember that?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You remember that? Okay. You remember the Pampers? You remember that? No, I'm just hitting the engines more.
Keep mentioning it.
So that's
You are
why
revving
I
the
was
car.
avoiding this conversation, and you decided that I should be part dole. Okay, now we have finished that one. When we went to the African Game, this is the official audit,
Yes.
but let's do our internal audit. You remember the lady who was an athlete was given an oversized shoe?
Oh, yes, it happened.
You remember that? You remember that too? Okay. You remember the gentleman who was using his own bicycle and it
yes.
got
It
broken?
broke down, yes.
You remember that too?
We saw those videos.
So you remember all these things, and you're asking me to join you in the conversation to do what exactly?
Oh,
Eh?
goodness.
As recent as 2 days or 3 days ago, somebody was going to do javelin or pole vault. Is that what they call?
Yes, pole vault.
Pole vault.
Yes, the one they jump over there.
And what happened?
The stick broke.
Okay. So you remember that too? Okay. You remember that when they went for this 13th African Games, at the place we said that we had refurbished and reconstructed and done everything. You remember that the people were saying that some of the rooms were leaking. You remember that?
Yes, we had those concerns as well.
You remember that one too? So the volunteers that went there, who were not paid what they were due, and they were complaining, and actually came to do press conferences, and we had to host them. You remember that one too? So why are you inviting me into the conversation? Because if you leave me, I can talk for 1 hour, and I'll remind you of everything that has happened.
Do you remember Ken Oforiatta, the former finance minister, in 2023, sent a memo to Parliament for some tax waivers?
Yeah.
For this 13th All-African Games.
Yeah.
And I think that was over $6 million tax waivers.
Charlie, did you feel?
If we add that to this one,
Finally, Kiki Kabubo running away, nobody
That's
turned it.
over $6 million.
Running away,
over
nobody turned
$6
it.
million.
That's the only one you remember on waivers.
No, I do remember quite
okay.
a few. There was the COVID levy waiver.
You are the researcher. Do you remember the hotel around the airport road that was giving tax waivers? Do you remember that? When Ghanaians were crying and saying that, we beg you, these taxes, they are many, they give, and the hotel was not even going to affect our lives personally, because it was a high-end hotel, we couldn't pay for it. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Should I go on?
Oh yes, maybe you should.
Okay.
You should.
Do you remember that at some point we're even paying $150 per COVID test at the airport?
Oh, yes.
And we were the most expensive charging country around the world. Do you remember?
What did the minister say at that time?
Oh no, I'm just asking if you remember. If you ask me, if you spark me again, now I'm telling you, I'm just hitting the engine. Don't spark the engine. Let the engine cool off nicely. Now, after Ken Oforiatta took us to the IMF, after insulting us that we are a proud nation, we will not go to the IMF.
Ghana beyond aid.
Yes, Ghana beyond aid, but Ghana was in need of aid. Sambalat and Tobias You and I were called that. We were all bundled into people who are not thinking properly. When he went to the IMF and got back, he came to do Wachi and Kenke party. And he okay, Codjoe. And he actually told us that, oh, me, I love you so much. You're like my children. I don't want to leave you. Meanwhile, before his role as finance minister, he left Data Bank to say that, oh, based on ill health, I am not able to perform my duty. When he finished, he was finance minister. They were asking me, let him resign. Oh, do you know that Ken Ofori-Atta was the only one who had MPs on the side of government?
Yes.
Who queued up to say that we don't want this one to be our MP.
I think they wanted to send a petition to the president.
They
They did send a petition to the president.
Yeah, Codjoe.
Yeah.
The petition is what? Relax. No. Relax. You people know only of the petition. And I'm saying it on record today. There was a meeting at Alisa Hotel. That week when Honorable Andy Apia Akubi was on the front line leading the people, there was a meeting at Alisa Hotel where President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was present. The MPs told him their mind. And this one, put it on record, cut it and share it. Let them deny. I will face them because I have the videos. There was a meeting at Alisa Hotel when Andy Apia Akubi led the team, right, to say that we don't want Ken Ofori-Atta, we don't want Dr. Edubane, we don't want Dr. Who was the deputy? The three people that they mentioned, which is like Edubane.
Yeah.
Edubane honorably resigned. That, oh, okay, if they don't want me, I'm resigning. Ken Ofori-Atta stayed on
until the bones are rotten.
And I'm telling you that there was a meeting at Alisa Hotel where President Akufo-Addo was told, people told him their mind. That is not in the public domain, but today I have put it on the public domain because today we are still celebrating Salah. We celebrate it on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm wearing my dapper properly, so we'll talk about it. But the big question is, where is Ken Ofori-Atta? Do you know Ken Ofori-Atta was the only finance minister in the history of the Republic of Ghana who was able to get a former Chief Justice to go and picket at the finance ministry, to hold a placard, to say that pay our money? Former Chief Justice, play the song. Activate his life. Ever. He's the only one. Today he says, I don't want to come home. Can you imagine? Play.
I'm talking about our own audit while the game was ongoing.
No, we'll talk about the audit.
Yes,
but
we will.
Because you sparked me, now the engine is fired. So now let's ignite.
You see,
use Codjoe first, then I'll come to you.
During the games, volunteers were crying that they were sleeping in darkness. So it became a major controversy after a report emerged that some volunteers, they had no electricity in their accommodation for days. And I should also remind you that this is accommodation that has been overpriced, according to the Auditor General, by about 10 million cedis. They were also crying over unpaid allowances. I'm talking about the same volunteers, and months, weeks after the 13th African Games, they were still saying that their allowances, their stipends have not been paid, their transport money, some saying they were being evicted from the hostels, amongst others. There's also this one that the hoteliers threatened to sue government. More than 40 hotels, they reportedly threatened legal action, saying that they had received only part payment, and that is months after hosting the athletes and the officials. Accommodation was also inflated by about $840,000, and that's equivalent to more than 10 million cedis. And then athletes were reportedly transported in pickup trucks. Videos circulated, delays in completing the facilities, debate over the cost of the games. All of these happened, and then lo and behold, based on the concerns that came up at that time, President Mahama said, investigate, audit the 13th African Games. And after the auditing, this is what we're seeing. Very, very disturbing, Kay.
Yes, there was the catering scam, which the New Republic newspaper captures here. Non-feeding expenses, transport utilities staffing worth $2.8 million were buried in food supply agreements without justification. And then there was the anti-doping fraud allegation as well, where payments exceeded World Anti-Doping Agency benchmarks by 572,000 euros. That's an equivalent of over 8 million Ghana cedis. The New Republic newspaper is asking who approved this. There's also the hotel rip-off. Athletes and officials were billed US $50 to $70. The loss, like you mentioned earlier, that's 840,000 US dollars, an equivalent of over 10 million Ghana cedis. And then the equipment swindle. I like the way the writer
Equipment
playing
swindle.
with words here. Equipment swindle. The writer says over 374,000 US dollars for goods never delivered or without specifications. And then the transport mess as well, where JDK Travel and Tours pocketed irregular payments totaling more than 30 million Ghana cedis, inflated hiring, excessive branding, and over invoicing. JDK Travel and Tours, who are they? Who are they?
And who is behind it?
Yes.
And who is hiding
You have to lift the veil.
clandestinely?
So
behind
yesterday I spoke with Edem Sinanu, and he's of the opinion that, you see, the audit has
Citizens
mentioned,
Movement Against Corruption.
yes, the audit has mentioned these three persons that they should face the law, but he insists there are a lot of people in the value chain that you cannot ignore and just target the head of the faces of what seems to be wrong, because if they did not act alone, that is, if it is found that they did something untoward, there are a lot of people. There's the middle level staff, people who decided to look the other way, did not pay close attention to all the happenings that made these losses and this over 500 million cedis made the impact so big. So if we're looking at, surcharging, retrieval, and prosecuting, it should not only be these three top officials, the former Youth and Sports Minister, Mr. Gatti, and the other person. I think it's a sound call to make.
Yes, in fact, and these days, when government does their audit, there's also the citizens audit. So citizens are yet to delve into it deeply. And I'm sure there will be a lot more findings. Sometimes they don't capture the little details that are important to us. Like how vendors for food were not paid.
Inflate prices and did not serve the food that they were supposed to serve and all of that.
Ghana Mashalat, I remember that incident quite well.
You remember too, that one too. Okay, that's fine. It's good that you remember. But you also remember that we took people to Olympics. They were training, gymming, and were not feeding. You remember that one too? Okay, it's okay. Please continue.
No, it's what's alarming is that the minister was very defensive at the time. I quite remember he had a response to everything. It very much reminds me of some appointees and ministers in office currently. But the minister was very defensive. He justified a lot, only for us to find out a few years later that, he supervised losses, a burden to the taxpayer.
Another interesting too is, regardless how much we took, the over 2 billion cedis, we even had debts after the organization of the thing. And I'll read to you exactly what I'm referring to. That even after the money that we got to organize the games, it was found that hold on for me. Even after we had already spent the 2.245 billion cedis, there were still unpaid bills, debts, and other financial obligations connected to the games, and that amounts to 208 million Ghana cedis, of course.
Yes.
You have 2 billion cedis to work with. You finish spending the 2 billion cedis, and you owe 208 million cedis.
As outstanding liabilities.
Exactly, the outstanding liabilities we're talking about. How do we get here? How did we organize games that lasted for a period like that, and then come out later and we're looking at some of these, we're seeing these findings? Very disturbing. And this is the sports minister, the former sports minister, Mustafa Yusuf, when he was minister, and he appeared before the Public Accounts Committee, and I'm talking about the $3 million paid to GBC. You remember that also came up?
Yes.
The Ghana Broadcasting Corporation was also there. A lot of back and forth between the ministry and then GBC on what the money was used for, how much was given to them, and all of that. But listen to the sports minister, Mustafa Yusuf, when he was responding or talking about how much was paid to the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation.
Games, right? Can you share with this committee how much to cover the All Africa Games, right? Can you share with this committee how much that coverage was for, and whether payment has been made for same?
Thank you so much. Yes, GBC was the official broadcaster for the African Games, the 13th African Games, and I can confirm that full payment have made to GBC.
Do you have per chance what the amount was?
I can't recall the exact amount, but I know that it's in the excess of $3 million US dollars.
You paid GBC in excess of $3 million US dollars for coverage of the All Africa Games.
Yes.
Chairman, I think that I would rest here, and maybe the next time GBC appears before us, because most of the technicians who worked on the All Africa Games have still not been paid. And so we wanted to ascertain if you have paid and how much has been paid. Chairman, do you have per chance what the amount was?
I can't recall the exact amount, but I know that it's in the excess of $3 million US dollars.
You paid GBC in excess of $3 million US dollars for coverage of the All Africa Games.
Yes.
Chairman, I think that I would rest here, and maybe the next time GBC appears before us, because most of the technicians who worked on the All Africa Games have still not been paid. And so we wanted to ascertain if you have paid and how much has been paid. Chairman, I'm grateful.
former sports minister there. And that was just a trip down memory lane. A few days after, the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, they came out to say that GBC got only $105,000 from the All-African Games and not $3 million. That was according to the Director General of the GBC. These are some of the things that have come together nicely and given credence to this Auditor General report. On 3FM 92.7 this morning, we'll get into the details. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. And Kay is still here with me. Johnnie Hughes is also here with me. Stay with us here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. We'll take a word from our sponsors, and when we come back, we will definitely talk more. Stay with us. There's still a lot to talk about this morning before we get into our big conversation segment. The papers this morning are reporting of government to restore 800 acres of Galamsey lands in Crofo in the Western region. And this is not the only one. The Lands Minister, Emmanuel Makofi-Boa, he recently inspected 320 hectares of reclaimed Galamsey land. That was in the Ashanti region. And he says that that project is part of a broader national reclamation and reforestation drive under the Tree for Life initiative. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources says that Ghana now faces an estimated $264 million bill, and that is just to restore more than 5,500 hectares of land damaged by illegal mining. You want to know how we get to that amount? They say that reclaiming just 1 hectare can cost up to $48,000. The government has also tightened enforcement tied to restoration efforts. Authorities say that more than 1,000 excavators, they are now being tracked. We know that. But there is growing debate about whether reclamation efforts are enough. Environmental experts, they argue that simply planting trees is not sufficient because many Galamsey sites are contaminated with mercury and heavy metals. And scientists are pushing for more advanced soil restoration methods. So can Galamsey lands, can Ghana truly restore the Galamsey lands? And the billions needed to heal the poison lands, do we have them? Are we reclaiming them today so that they'll be invaded tomorrow? And then what happens to the various communities after the reclamation efforts? I'm sure that Kay has a thought or two on the subject of reclaiming the Galamsey lands. Kay, what do you think?
Yes, the minister, he's been on this campaign for a while, the reclamation drive, and I think it's impressive. It's not enough, but it's impressive. Particularly, this is targeting Nkrofo.
Yes.
The hometown of our first president, Dr. Osajifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And I mean, it's one to be impressed about. The minister himself is from that region. He's a Westerner.
Yes, Nkrofo is in the Elembele constituency. That's where he's.
Why you behaving as if you are not an Izama boy?
Oh, let's smell it. Maybe.
So fire
that's
the thing.
That's okay, no. So let's leave it there. But it's interesting. This is good news that we're reclaiming the land. However, while there are efforts to reclaim the land, Galamsey is also ongoing in various areas. River and Cobra, the expectation is that based on efforts that various administrations, various authorities, agencies have put in place to ensure that it becomes better, it is no better because mining is still ongoing. And the miners are becoming very, very smart. They are now using sophisticated technology to use the water, wash the gold, and it all gets back into the river.
People speak too much English sometimes. I'm not. Do you remember that we spent 4 years of our lives planting trees or pretending to be planting trees across the country?
Yeah, well, we're still doing it.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So Tree for Life is not new. But do you remember that we were told that we spent 17 million, 20 million? We're planting trees every year. If you ask me where the trees are as a farmer, I don't know where the trees are. And I've questioned that, show me from TV3 to Kwame Nkrumah Circle, because they're talking about Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah.
Show me where the trees were planted. After 4 years, 5 years, we should at least see trees that are, because we planted trees at our church around the same period.
And they have grown.
They have
become proper trees.
So the trees, that we spend money to plant.
And there's technology now. So I mean, if you want to plant trees, you can just have a digital version of it for us to see where the trees are. When the tree dies, then it will just disappear.
You have gone to the UK. When they plant trees,
I haven't been to the UK.
Okay, I have been there. When they plant the trees, like they literally police the trees, they clip it, they put whatever they do to make sure that the tree doesn't die. We spend so much money trying to plant trees, and that we have not seen the trees. That's one. Do you remember we bought drones to monitor Galamsey people, Operation One and Halt, Operation Galamsey? You remember that, Crosby?
Yes.
Are you pretending that you don't remember? Remember the same thing.
So what we're saying is that...
So, no, relax.
Okay.
Let me land. I'm still your senior. What Emmanuel Amakofiboa is trying to do, reclamation, 9 months, blah, 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 we have seen all before. We are not measuring results. We are only measuring what we are measuring now is an attempt to get a result for us. And that is not what we are looking for.
Yes.
Because Crosby, if you fetch Galamsey water, right? For those who don't have the benefit of drinking bottled water like UIK, DJ Phil, what they do it's also what they do is that they are drinking chlorine, they are drinking alum, they are drinking cyanide, they are drinking mercury, and then they are adding the H2O in addition. That's a nuclear bump in their stomach, right? And we are not concerned about it. What even irks my anger is that the people, our friends who live abroad permanently, assume that, they are free and far away from danger. But they will finish and ask for mpatwa. They will ask for crayfish or ajin. They will ask for all those things for us to import it to them, right? Where are those things harvested from?
Yes.
The rivers, the same rivers that are polluted. So we die, they die.
Yeah.
And they are not joining us in their advocacy. And we've been doing this advocacy for too long. Too long we've been talking about Galamsey. And Galamsey has actually become a money-making venture. Let me explain. We have sent military people to go to Galamsey site.
Some military people.
Yeah.
Because I always believe that we haven't dealt with it the way we ought to, because Ghana's armed forces is not it's not a walk in the park. I mean, they have what it takes to intervene and stop Galamsey one time.
Okay.
But they have sent some military people.
The top officers who listen to the show, you'll be shocked if I mention some of them to you. But I won't, because we are on air. If you give the Ghana Armed Forces the right space to operate, they will end Galamsey in 48 hours.
I wouldn't doubt.
Because that is their training.
Yes.
Their training is that we reach there, we find an obstacle, we neutralize it, and we progress.
Good morning, Commander-in-Chief.
Now, what have we done? We will pretend that we are sending military to go and fight Galamsey. And we will give them a distance of 500 meters astride the water. Now, if I'm standing 500 meters away, even if I have the most sophisticated weapon, it will take a sniper or a good marksman to do the best job. So what you are doing is that we are playing eye service, and like they say in the service, and from full respect. Like we are putting K and Crosby together and say, we want you to do this one, but this one we will not let you do it, but we are still putting your name there that you can do it. It doesn't make any sense.
As
Crosby,
okay.
I'm coming.
Okay.
One last point.
Yes,
Were
sir.
we not in this country when the EPA boss, Professor Brown Kluche, beautiful lady, intelligent lady, came to tell us that she has the capacity, and that if we give her money, she will stop Galamsey too. You remember that?
What did Sam George even say?
I'm saying, no. You remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
Okay. So say what Sam George said too.
From as far back as the Rawlings era, various interventions, military crackdowns on illegal mining camps, PNDC era mining regulations, initial formalization of small-scale mining through licenses. That's what happened under the Rawlings era to deal with illegal mining. Then came the Kufuor administration, small-scale mining legalization reforms. There was creation and strengthening of district mining oversight systems, deployment of police operations in mining hotspots, and then the Minerals Commission regulatory expansion. To former President Mills, immigration and police swoops, seizure of mining equipment, interagency task forces in mining communities. That is where it all began. And then the Mahama administration also started with the Interministerial Task Force Against Illegal Mining. There were joint military and police raids, deportation of foreign illegal miners, destruction and seizure of excavators and champagne machines. During that time, people were saying, why are we burning them? We should put them to good use, amongst others. River protection programs. Then also came the community mining scheme discussions. That's when it began to gain traction. 2017-2025, former President Kufuor, the most aggressive, arguably people say, also one of the most aggressive yet less impactful galamsey periods in the country's history. There was a ban on small-scale mining.
No, we pretended that we had a ban on small-scale mining.
On paper, they said there was a ban.
If you read the Professor Frimpong Boateng report, and Kay, you read it.
Yes.
At the time when we said we had banned all forms of mining for 2 years, 43 various forest reserves that were precluded from any form of mining, right, was being mined in. At the same time, the man who was the man in charge of the Forestry Commission, the authority tasked to be at the center of this whole fight against galamsey, the late Sir John, who is also an SDA member. I'm an Anglican. So we went, like DJ Phil, they say, oh, God has blessed you, that means that you have money. But SDA people, they are very modest. They don't chew meat, they don't wear earrings, they do plenty duku, they do all those things, unless I'm telling lies. He was an SDA member, and he even found purpose to will part of Achimota forest for his family forever. Were we working at anything? He even found SDA member, quiet, calm, everything, nice uncle, good man looking in the public eye, is everybody's benefactor, blah, blah, blah. He found time to put in his will that he has willed portions of the Achimota forest, which was a restricted area, forever. What are you telling me about? Convince me further.
So, there was also Operation Vanguard.
Another scam.
400-member joint military task force deployed to the Ashanti, the eastern and western regions to fight galamsey.
When we started Operation Vanguard, that was when they killed Major Maxwell Mahama. I lie. What have we done about Major Maxwell Mahama to say that, oh, this is signaling the end to the canker that we have? What have we done? I'm just telling you that we are only playing tricks with ourselves. Like, okay, yes. So I'm in class with Kay. Sorry, Kay steals my money. He puts it in his back pocket, and he's helping me to look for the money. That's what we're doing. With galamsey. Mention the other one.
Your friend, IMCIM.
Was Codjoe upon Chroma part of it? Was Cecilia Daba part of it?
Interministerial
Committee on illegal
mining.
Led by Professor Frimpong Boateng.
Who wrote a report?
Uncle Charles.
And for 2 years, the report was not even looked at. Charles Bisi was the secretary.
Yes, he was secretary. Yeah.
Codjoe upon Chroma was there. Was he not there?
He was.
Good. Cecilia Daba was there. Was he not there? Ambrose Derry was he not there? Okay. Brian Achampo.
The chairman made himself. The chairman made himself enemies because of that report.
The chairman, actually, let me say again, the chairman is in court because of that report.
Yes.
The chairman is in court because of that report. So I'm saying we are just pretentious about the whole situation. The chairman in that report wrote that the people actually even refused to come for some of the meetings. In the second term of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he was not giving an appointment, right? Professor Frimpong Boateng, he was not given an appointment, right?
Yes.
Good. When in the second term he was not given an appointment, it was Codjoe upon Chroma, Cecilia Dapa, and one other minister who's
very own Codjoe.
Yes.
Bra Codjoe.
Who went to stand at the central region. They took a trip to central region, western region, that they were now trying to understand the problem that they were supposed to have fixed 4 years ago. And they were looking at the water treatment plan. That's why I tell you that in this country, our politicians, they scam us, and they come back to us to shake hands with us and say, oh, I'm working for you, my brother. Forget them.
See,
When it goes bad, they cry with us.
If you take a step back through memory lane, you look at the composition of the CIM. It was interesting. So you mentioned Cecilia Dapa was there.
There were 10 ministers.
Yes.
10.
Kofi Jamesi was there.
Yeah.
Chieftaincy Religious
Yeah.
Affairs. Monetary Evaluation. Dr. Anthony Akutose.
Who died?
Yes.
Sadly, may he rest in peace.
He was there as well. There was also Dambuche, Regional Reorganization and
My own
Development.
uncle.
Your own uncle was
Yeah.
there. Ambrose Derry, Kweku Asuma Treme.
Yeah.
Later, Samuel Abujina.
Yeah.
Dominic Nitu was there as
Right.
well. Codjoe Nkrumah, Minister of Information.
Right.
Haji Alima Mahama, local
Right.
government.
Right.
All these people were there, and then
Should I count the number of lawyers we have in there? Codjoe Nkrumah is a lawyer.
so the,
Haji Alima Mahama is a lawyer. Ambrose Derry is a lawyer. Dominic Nitu is Ambrose Derry is a lawyer. Just mention them. We have just been playing games with ourselves. That's all I'm saying.
and it is very true.
We are just full. Look, there's a Minamata convention. The Minamata convention happened because the people who were drinking water from a certain river that brought find the Minamata convention and play. We took $20 million, right, to fight water that is supposed to be contaminated with the chemicals I'm mentioning. How did we use the water? Money. So when the EPA boss talks, I listen and I laugh. We are just deceiving ourselves and pretending that we are okay.
Yeah.
Everything is fine. Let's tell the people, let's roll out a program. Look, by all standards, NIMOS and Minister Kofi Boah is trying to do something. In the past, you won't have a raid at a Galamsey site. And if you know what a Galamsey site is, because I'm a farmer as well, if you know what a Galamsey site is, you find generators, you find light, you find weapons, you find money, you find minerals, right? At least these 5 things.
Yeah.
In the past, we'll line up 3 Chinese people, 2 black people, and we'll put them. Now they are reporting that they are able to recover generators, but they are not able to tell us that we recovered lights and that we recovered, because a Galamsey site is like a construction site, like there's always a foreman who, after the day of work, remits money to the people.
Yeah.
So when you go there and you raid everybody, you should find his bag and the money. There's no Galamsey site where they will tell you that throughout the day they worked for 8 hours, 9 hours, and they didn't find a small amount of gold, diamond, or
They'll
box.
stop.
Yeah, they will stop. It's waste of money. You find it.
Yeah.
There's no Galamsey site that will go that is working overnight that you will not find light, like high beam light. You will not. Why was it not being reported to us back in the day? We sent people's immigration officers, military officers, police officers into those bushes, and people were making money out of it. We told the whole country that we have banned Galamsey, we have banned all forms of mining for 2 years, and we're giving forest reserves as concession.
45 forest reserves plus 1 national park.
Forever. Can you imagine? Does it make sense to you? If any of all those people and those people who are pretending to be doing work today come to you to come and tell you that we are helping you to fight Galamsey, tell them that I'm telling you that it is a lie.
It is interesting. We'll see how far the work of the Lands and Natural Resource Minister
On their
Honorable-
reclamation drive.
Yes, on the reclamation drive, how far it goes. There are those who say that it will not be enough, but of course, we'll have to give it a try.
It's better to grind slow.
Exactly. We'll give it a try.
And not to grind at all.
And then see how far it takes.
Kay has been a diplomatic person. You can wear your suit and tie. That's fine. Yeah, I wear my batakari, I wear my chieftaincy and then speak my heart. We will not have to grind slow. Okay, people are being born.
No, they
people
say,
are being born
they say,
without arms,
they
without
say
legs.
They say they are reclaiming.
No.
The reclamation itself is
that
even
that's the
entirely
problem.
different from the activity itself. You know, the activity is still ongoing.
So you go and find the people. They are spoiling the place. They're destroying the area. So we have arrested K. Now we'll reclaim. We'll spend our money to reclaim. What are you reclaiming? Stop the nonsense. What are you reclaiming?
Exactly. You have
Stop
a chance
it.
to stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. You say you are reclaiming. You are reclaiming what? You let them look on destroy. That was what I told you 2 days ago. That when you are doing something and they say, "Oh, I'm standing there with you. I'm misbehaving." So I should be able to tell you.
So the Galamsey is happening at various areas. You are reclaiming A. It is happening at B. Moving to C, you come and reclaim B.
Yeah.
From C to D, you come and reclaim C.
It's the
What are you
same
doing?
nonsense that we are doing with all these Boku and whatever.
So it gives the
election
impression.
Flashpoints.
It gives the impression that probably you know you are reclaiming your own mess.
Yes, but if
but that's what they are doing.
if you are reclaiming and it's stopping, we like it. But you are reclaiming.
Crosby,
it is not stopping. It is eating. So you keep reclaiming. Just stop the thing.
Crosby,
and then reclaim and go.
Crosby has not stopped though.
Crosby,
Yes, that's what exactly what
it does
we're
not
saying.
stop. When we take the soldiers into the bush, we house them, we feed them, we put fuel in the car, and we give them per diem.
Yeah.
And we
Remember
even,
what happened to
and we
the
even buy,
Naimos,
and we even buy
officers.
Yes, and we flew
They were even
them
assaulted.
Yes, and then we buy guns and then we put bullets inside. Do you know how much it costs? So we are pretending that we are fighting a menace. We are not fighting any menace. We are not. I warned you that don't spark me.
There's a clear way to fight Galamsey. I don't know whether it is because of the the proceeds of Galamsey that is making it very difficult to fight.
Why should the proceeds make it very difficult when
Because
we're
there
losing
seems-
more money from Galamsey?
There
You
seems
see,
to
we're
be
losing
a
more money from
consensus.
Galamsey.
I have always said that if we are serious about fighting Galamsey, the average boy, like at your construction site or mine, is not able to afford an excavator.
True.
Because when the day ends, the most he will get is about 400, 300, 500 Ghana cedis. But somebody is buying the excavator, somebody is buying the fuel, and the fuel stations are also guilty of this.
Yes, and not to cut you, Johnny, you get back to your point. There was a petition by a group to the NPA that the NPA should investigate these illegal mining communities. There are fuel depots in the bushes.
Yeah.
It is not for you and I who are on the roads, it is for the
They know
government.
where it is.
Yes.
Now, when this new DVLA boss came, Logas, he came and realized that all the excavators, after about 4 years, were not registered. So, Crosby, how do we fight this Galamsey? I'll give 3 solutions. That's why I said we should have a common sense minister who be thinking like us on this show to forward the match. Number 1, find who has imported an excavator. Find whose name it is registered in. And then find out who he has let out the excavator to.
Yes.
Because the boys in the pit, they can't buy the excavator. But there's a big man bankrolling the
The boys
rubbish.
in the pit, yes.
So now you find the excavator, find the freight forwarder, and find whose name it has been registered in. We'll end this nonsense. I traveled 4 weeks ago. I traveled. I was in the Nyinim.
Yeah.
The police station at Nyinim, okay, right behind the police station, like this is TV3, this is Jubilee. They are digging Galamsey, the police station is here.
They're beneficiaries.
Ah.
I mean,
I say we are
and-
pretending to be fighting what we cannot fight, or what we are not willing to fight.
You know that one of the earlier moves that the minister made was to, if you like, restrict excavator import into the country.
It is not about the restriction. What are we doing with the ones already here? We're in this country when they smuggled palm oil. into the country. And they don't pay taxes. Were we not in this country? And I'm saying that what you are doing, the things they are there.
So the missing excavators,
We need-
remember the Ekwewusi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ekwewusi, my own brother, Bisu is my cousin actually. But I don't fear to mention because I will say it. Now, you are looking for excavators to construct roads. And then you go and find an excavator and bend the motherboard. Are you thinking right? You are looking for excavators to construct road and to level places.
Yes.
And to dig. Then you find an excavator that is fully functional.
They call it drip, eh?
Yes. And then you decided that, let me bend the motherboard and make the excavator useless. What are you thinking?
It would have benefited the drip
Oh,
initiative.
that's why I said we need a minister for common sense.
Yeah.
That's all. If we get somebody who is Nanado's first term, he brought in the minister you mentioned who died in the CIM, Doctor, the former deputy finance
Akoto.
minister, Akoto Ose.
Oh, say, yeah.
He was the minister for monitoring and evaluation.
Yeah.
Monitoring and evaluation. I thought that was the best thing that Nanado did.
What became of the...
He did work for 1 year. And that was it. 1 year. In fact, at the time I was in parliament, I saw Haji Ali Mahama. I was covering the budget live in parliament. I put the mic to Haji. I said, Haji, today your minister for monitoring and evaluation says you should come for evaluation and monitoring. He said, I'm not even aware. He worked for 1 year. And that was it. And you know, Nanado had a very unique style. He will come and say, Codjoe, stand by me. He wants to appoint you as a minister. Okay, Codjoe is this, he has this, da. Then based on that, these are your KPIs, your JD, job description, and then you will be out. So he did that in his first term for the first set of ministers. When we started asking questions about, but you told us that this, but when it comes, you'll get more food. When you come, we'll get more money. When you come. So second time, he didn't try. He didn't do that again. And that is why we are where we are. Because this current government...
But have you seen a 9-month dashboard by any chance? Have you seen a 9-month dashboard that is updating the citizenry on their successes, challenges?
Right. That would be good. Maybe
because we are hearing a lot of press and we lose track of these things. It would be awesome if there was
It would be awesome, but I hope it will be truthful because we had the same thing with COVID. We had the COVID dashboard.
Oh, then when you have the dashboard and you decide to be untruthful, and you subject yourself to
because when we go to the field, we see you have added it to your accomplishments, but it's not there. It means
Crosby,
you are doing
don't
yourself.
you remember that the government's delivery tracker at the time? I was the one who made the 2 broadcasts and they shut it down. Delivery tracker, MPP's delivery. They shut it down. So if they bring a 9-month tracker
That website.
and it's not truthful, they will shut it down. I will question it. I will go under the ground and find it.
But I think it would be good to have a dashboard like that.
I don't doubt that they can have
even
a dashboard.
with
It will be
this,
that
reclamation and all
No, you
that in
have
there.
it, but make sure that what you are putting there
It's true.
is what we see. If we don't see, I will question. I asked my own brother Richard Anyagba. I asked him. He said, "Delivery tracker. They have done something at Ketu South." I said, "Okay." I was in Ketu South 2 weeks ago. The project you are talking about, I have not seen it.
It wasn't there.
Okay, so you show me exactly where it is because I know Ketu South. In 2004, I covered the election in Ketu South and Ketu North. So you show me where it is. If it is in the place that I know, I will find. If I don't know, I will activate the what do you call it, the phone lines for the Ketu South people to call in. He said, "My brother, you cannot do that." You remember that?
So if you bring the dashboard, make sure that you're putting correct information.
Exactly
If you
their
don't-
point.
If you don't bring it,
And don't pretend to be fighting Galamsey.
No.
Fight it.
In fact, there's a comment from Codjoe on Facebook. He says the whole thing is that governments are not ready to stop Galamsey in any shape or form. That will appear to be a consensus that people agree Everybody seems to know how to fight galamsey apart from the government. When you are in opposition, you know how to fight it. When you come,
you know, when you have people in authority, hold on. When you have people in authority joining you to complain, then there's a problem. Because your problem will not be fixed. Your problem will be explained to you, but how to fix it is not their problem.
La ilaha. This is still Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Let's do some sports news.
Once again, you're still listening to Sunrise, but it's time for the sports updates with me, Akusia AJ. And in today's edition, we'll be hearing from a number of people, including Antoine Semenyo's mother, who's been talking to parents who have their wards, who play football in the diaspora, to believe in the process so that they are able to play for the Ghana national team. We'll also be hearing from some other people who play very huge roles in the world of sport. Keto Craig, who'll be hearing from him, Michael Essien, Gideon Mensah, who is probably one of the most experienced players in the Black Stars camp right now, is talking about some of the responsibilities he have to play for the new players as they are in camp right now, preparing one for their game against Wales and two for the World Cup that will be staged in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. And And so the Ghana Football Association has stepped up efforts to strengthen the future of Ghana football after hosting a strategic engagement session with a UK-based Ghanaian parents in London. The event held at the Ghana High Commission in the United Kingdom on Wednesday was organized in collaboration with the British High Commission, Codjoe Club, and Prince Lamona Consulting. Leading the discussion was GFA President Ket Edwin Simeon Okerku, who outlined the Football Association's long-term vision of identifying, nurturing, and integrating talented dual national players into the Ghana's national teams at an early age. Speaking during the session, the mother of Black Stars forward Antoine Semenyo Dela Djibu urged Ghanaian parents in the diaspora to encourage their children to represent Ghana at the international level.
Playing for your country. It's about blood, it's about legacy, it's about your roots, it's about pride. I'm here today to encourage all the players and their parents here that, trust me, when you play for your country, number one, there are a few things we need to consider here because the kids we raised here are conflicted because there are two nationalities, different cultures as well. And as a parent, your job is, there's a lot of conflict. You're trying to advise. You don't want to come across as pushy. You want to encourage them because they don't see that side you know about. It's about pride. It's about your roots. It's about where you come from, even though we are here. For them, they feel like we were born here. This is where we come from. So it's a very difficult journey, but it is doable. You just need to encourage your kids and say, listen, the pride. I remember very well when, Anton asked us the question. He says, Mom, do I play for England or do I play for Ghana? And I said, in a heartbeat, you have to play for Ghana. And he goes, but why? Then I didn't have any words, and I went, oh, God, in Ghana, nothing works. And then he was like, if nothing works, why do I have to play for Ghana? And I go, you would feel proud to be part of the Ghanaian journey. Ghana, football in the UK for me is about the boots. But football in Ghana is about blood, it's about pride, it's about legacy, it's about your roots.
Well, Ghana Black Stars and Manchester City forward Antoine Semenyo's mother there. Meanwhile, GFA President Ket Okerku has reiterated his belief that players of Ghanaian descent should prioritize representing Ghana internationally. Speaking to Sky Sports during the visit to the Ghana High Commission, Ket Okerku stressed the importance of choosing Ghana when the opportunity arises.
Full-blooded Ghanaians should be representing their countries. Okay, that's my clear opinion on representation when it comes to national teams in football. But having said that,
you're talking about Mainu.
Yes, Kobe Mainu. Yes. But having said that, I think that England has a good team. It's important we respect the manager and the experience that he brings on board. But what's also true is that they will meet a very, very competitive and determined Ghanaian side.
How much does it hurt you then seeing Mainu in an England shirt?
Well, it's most unfortunate, to be honest. I wish I never comment on it. I wish I never comment on such situations because, for example, when I watched the French national team win the World Cup, and the team is made up of 11 African players, I mean, it always tells me that there's a subject that has to be discussed.
You heard GFA President Ket Okerku there. Also speaking to Sky Sports was former Ghana midfielder Michael Essien, who expressed hope that the Black Stars will defeat England when the two nations meet in the group stage of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The former Chelsea star admitted the fixture will be difficult, but backed Ghana to rise to the challenge against the Three Lions.
Hot? I don't know, but I mean, this is I think it's going to be a great game. It's a great match that everyone is looking forward to see, and hopefully it will be a good one, and the best team should win.
What do you make of England, the squad, and what are England's chances at this World Cup?
I hope Ghana beat them. No, I mean, on a serious note, I think they've assembled the best players they could to represent the country. So yeah, it's going to be. I think it's going to be exciting one. So yeah, we just have to sit back and enjoy the show.
That was former Ghana international Michael Essien. But we still stay on the 2026 FIFA World Cup as Black Stars defender Gideon Mensah has shared Ghana's ambition ahead of the tournament, insisting the team's immediate objective is to progress beyond the group stage before targeting AD Paran. According to the defender, improving on Ghana's previous World Cup campaign by reaching the knockout phase remains their first priority.
The expectation is very clear. I mean, me as a player and then we as a team, we are working towards a very crucial tournament for us. I mean, the country and for us ourselves as a player. So, I mean, we are expecting that we go into the game, show to Ghanaians and show to ourselves that we are ready to go and compete with whoever that comes against us in the World Cup. Very good for me, for myself, my family, my friends. I mean, for what I've been able to achieve in my career. I mean, going for the second World Cup in my career, being with the national team for 8 years, which is very good for me. I feel so good. I feel like an experienced player, and then I feel like I have responsibility also for the new boys that are coming in, so which gives me a lot of excitement to be here. It's very clear. I mean, we are hoping that we do better than our last World Cup, which is to go out of the group stage and then we take it from there. You know, I mean, we can aim to go to the finals and to win the World Cup, but then you need to start from somewhere. So if we are going to look back to the last World Cup, then I think we have to also focus on getting out of the group stage, and then from there we can look into what will happen.
Black Stars defender Gideon Mensah. There we still stay with national team football as former Black Stars captain Asamoah Gyan has reflected on one of the most painful moments in Ghana football history, his missed penalty against Uruguay at the 2010 FIFA World Cup in South Africa. Speaking in an interview with Michael Utieje, the former striker detailed the pain, pressure and criticism that followed the dramatic quarter-final clash, which denied Ghana a historical semi-final place.
Yes, I was in the form of my life. I was the most confident player in the world for me at that time. I think I was number 3 best player in the tournament after the 3 group stages. So everything was working for me. I was very, very confident till that penalty miss. As I've been saying this all over. Before the game, I had penalty shootout with Richard Kingston. You know, after the training, I shot about 20 balls. I scored all 20. Yeah. So that was when I had that superstition thing. I said, so if we get a penalty tomorrow, like, you know, what am I going to do? Because I've scored all the goals here. That was what came into my mind at that time. So I said to myself, after the training. So after the penalty, when the penalty came, I was like, it is what it is. Because I was the first penalty taker of the team. I was supposed to take it. Yeah. I was supposed to take it. So it was, I remember it was Kevin who gave me the ball. Kevin who gave me the ball. Annan went outside to pick the ball. Kevin took it from me, and Kevin gave me the ball. You know, so I had to just take responsibility because it was that crucial moment. If I would say I was under pressure, no. I wasn't under pressure at that time. I was under pressure when I scored the 20.
You heard former Black Stars captain Asamoah Gyan there. But we turn our attention to women's football as Black Queens forward Chantel Boyhloka says she's aiming to score more goals for Ghana at the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations. The Nottingham Forest attacker was part of the Black Queen squad that secured a third-place finish at the previous edition of the tournament. Now firmly established with the team, Chantel believes she's ready to take on bigger roles.
For me, it's going to be my second tournament. I haven't been with the Queens for a long time. I think the last tournament I was quite new, quite fresh, just getting to know everyone. So now I'm a little bit more settled. So hopefully you'll see more of my personality, more of my qualities on the pitch, and hopefully more goals to help the team succeed. Yeah, definitely. I think the football's different to what I've been playing in England, but now I'm used to it. I'm used to the girls. I've made some good connections with the team as we're bonding as a team together. So yeah, I think this time around it's going to be much different. I think all of us players together will be much more comfortable with each other, and I think hopefully that can show on the pitch and you can see what we provide.
Nottingham Forest and Black Queens player Chantel Boy Holoka there. Away from Ghana football, we head over to Europe, where Crystal Palace have made history after defeating Rayo Vallecano 1-0 to win the UEFA Conference League final in Leipzig. The victory secured Palace's first ever European trophy and marked a memorable farewell for manager Oliver Glasner, who leaves the club after a highly successful spell at the Selhurst Park. That's it for the Sport on Sunrise with me, Akusia AJ. Thanks for listening.
Protect yourself from germs and bacteria with confidence. Cleanse hand soap.
On 3FM 92.7. Time check is some 12 minutes after 8. Attention all parents of first year SHS boarding students. EduPack, the Ghana Education Service, approved and supported national SHS initiative implemented by Prospectus Ghana is now in progress across Ghana. Parents across the country are already registering so that their children's trunk, Macintosh mattress and pillow and plastic chalk box will be ready and waiting at their school before reporting day. Do not delay and be caught in the usual last-minute market rush, carrying heavy items under pressure. With EduPack, your child does not need to travel to school with these 4 essential items. To register, simply dial *713*821#, visit any ADB branch, or go to www.edupack.com. Make payment, keep your receipt, and present on opening day to collect all your child's EduPack items. Your EduPack registration follows you to any SHS you are placed. Avoid the stress, avoid the rush, prepare with confidence, all at a very affordable price. EduPack approved and supported by GES. For more information, call 0500-600-607. EduPack, no stress, no wahala. Also, the Money Summit 2026, the Business and Financial Times, in partnership with EcoBank Ghana, proudly presents the 6th edition of the Money Summit 2026, Ghana's premier financial leadership and policy dialogue platform, bringing together regulators, financial institutions, investors, development partners, policymakers, and private sector leaders to discuss practical solutions for strengthening Ghana's financial ecosystem and economic future. This year's summit is under the theme Building Trust, Capital and Stability for Ghana's Economic Future. The summit is scheduled as follows. The date is on Tuesday, 2nd June 2026. Venue is the Palms by Eagles Accra, formerly Holiday Inn. The time is 9 a.m. prompt. The Money Summit will feature high-level discussions on financial stability and systemic resilience, mobilizing long-term capital for growth and enterprise, commodity-backed financing and economic transformation, deepening financial inclusion through rural banking, digital innovation and trust in financial systems, SME financing and investment opportunities. The summit will convene senior representatives from the Bank of Ghana, Securities and Exchange Commission Ghana, Ghana Stock Exchange, ARB Apex Bank, commercial banks, pension and insurance institutions, fintech companies, development finance institutions, academia, investors and leading private sector organizations will all be there. The 6th edition of the Money Summit 2026 is organized by the Business and Financial Times with support from Fidelity Bank and partners committed to advancing Ghana's financial and economic transformation agenda. And of course, the media partners include Sasi Radio, City FM, 3FM, TV3, Happy FM. So for sponsorship, exhibition, partnership opportunities, or delegate registration, kindly contact 020-945-7427. Follow at BFT Ghana across all social media platforms for updates and event information. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Interested participants and institutions may contact the organizers for registration and participation details. Destiny, is it my destiny? Show me a sign. Is this a lesson or be destiny? And in a few minutes, we'll get into our big conversations this morning. This morning, we turn our attention to a developing Ghana-South Africa story that has been shaping conversations across the continent. The latest is that nearly 300 Ghanaians have been repatriated from South Africa back home to Accra. as rising tensions linked to anti-immigrant protests and xenophobic incidents continue to affect foreign nationals living there. And I'm talking about South Africa. Many of those returning are said to be part of a larger group of Ghanaians who had either outstayed visas or were caught in difficult living conditions as the situation on the ground became increasingly hostile. Authorities in both countries, they are coordinating further returns, with hundreds more reportedly expressing interest in coming back home. We're getting into this conversation this morning. Stay with us on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Expert analysis. And of course, your major part of the show. Share with us your thoughts on 3FM 927 on Facebook, on social media.
Life no easy, big one push hard. Abraboy. Inna the rain, inna the smoke, we work. Abraboy. Sunrise on 3FM. Who eat house? Abraboy. Yeah. Abraboy na for.
Communications team member of the NPP is here with me. Okay, Codjoe is also here. Johnnie Hughes will also be here to join us for the discussions. We're starting off from South Africa. But Prosper, good morning. How are you? It's good to see you. This is our first time interacting, eh?
Yeah.
How's everything?
Everything is good. I'll be meeting Johnnie anytime I come. So.
He's around. You'll see him shortly. Okay.
Yes.
South Africa-Ghana situation. The good news is the latest, that 300 of our brothers and sisters have come back home.
Yes.
A screening was done for 800 of them. 300 have come. There's still some more Ghanaians who will have to return home in their repatriation effort. But we understand there are 25,000 Ghanaians living in South Africa. That's the official data that we know. 25,000 Ghanaians living in South Africa, and out of that, 800 have willingly expressed the desire to return home. But what numbers are we looking at? What are the statistics telling us?
Yes, For the statistics, number one, we have South Africa's unemployment crisis. There's a glaring 30% unemployment rate. And then if we look at number two, we have the xenophobic violence, which is not new. And the major outbreaks, it's been a sequence. Xenophobia started a while ago, many years ago.
Right.
So if we look at the major outbreaks, in 2008, there was an outbreak. In 2015, there was another. In 2019, there was another. And in 2026, there was another as well. In 2008, there were over 60 deaths recorded
in the same xenophobic.
Yes, in that outbreak, and about over 100,000 people displaced in 2008.
Again.
Yes,
I see.
Which is quite disturbing. It's unfortunate that we haven't learned past some of these experiences, and it's disappointing that South Africa has not grown past some of these experiences. If we look at number three, we have South Africa's migrant population, which is 3 million migrants. That's approximately 90% from other African countries. And at number four, we have immigrant population growth, which is 2% in 1996 to 4% in 2002.
Right.
At number five, in 2026, protests included harassment, intimidation, looting, forced immigration checks, attacks on African migrants. And at number six, we have Ghana's diplomatic protests, official protests lodged after videos emerged showing a Ghanaian being told, "We don't want you here." And then to number seven, we have Ghana's first evacuation batch of 300 Ghanaians that were evacuated. At 8, we have the evacuation demand, which surged to 800 registered Ghanaians. And if we look at number 9, we're looking at the legal status red flag. 10 out of less 300 valid immigration status. That's 3.3% documented, and undocumented non-compliant, that's 96.7%. So the legal status red flag, which has become such a controversial conversation, is that out of the 300 people or citizens that were evacuated, 10 out of that 300 were documented, and unfortunately the rest were undocumented. We haven't had an official response to that. That there hasn't been any rebuttal from our ministry. And at number 10, we have the detention history. 26 evacuees previously detained. And at number 11, Ghana's reintegration package. What does it include? It includes psychosocial services, transportation support, financial assistance, employment and startup support. And as it stands, there hasn't been any public disclosure on total evacuation cost per evacuee, and long-term reintegration budget as well. And then at number 12, we have the Goldfields sovereignty angle, which is just hanging in there. It has become an interesting conversation because a lot of Ghanaians are not happy with what is happening to our brothers and sisters in South Africa, and their mining lease issue. Goldfields has an automatic renewal, which was suspended and subjected to some sort of dialogue.
Right.
So there's a 20-year lease, 20-year TAQA lease extension request that Goldfields is looking at. The lease initially should expire in 2027. And then we have the Pan-African contradiction. African states supported South Africa during apartheid. Current hostility against African migrants continue inside democratic South Africa. And on official condemnation and recurring violence, violence outbreaks recurring across nearly 2 decades.
Right.
If we look at from 1996, as the data showed us to date, so that's over 2 decades. And we have the central forensic question. 300 evacuated versus 800 registered, and the reintegration challenges as well, which includes collapsed businesses, disrupted education, destroyed livelihoods, and economic displacement. So the xenophobia reality now is 30% unemployment pressure in South Africa.
In South Africa, that is just as we speak.
Yes.
Okay.
And in 2008, 2015, 2019, and 2026.
The most recent outbreaks.
Yes, those are the most recent outbreaks.
Okay.
What has been Ghana's action? Ghana has evacuated 300 people, 800 people registered initially, and the government is still in diplomatic engagement with the South African authorities. Now, sovereignty and trust deficit, we are staring at the 20-year TAQA lease extension request and the Pan-African trust deficit concern. So this is cited from Reuters, Ghana Ministry of Foreign Affairs, South African official reports, Ghana Statistical Services, and UN migration estimates, and media reports and official statements.
I see. Kay, thank you so much for telling us the journey so far. Now, some Ghanaians have arrived. They arrived yesterday, very jubilant. Let's take a listen to some of them as they shared what they went through in South Africa and how excited they are to have arrived in the country.
My name is Victor Achitogo, and I've lived in South Africa for the past 16 years. And the reason why we came back to Ghana is due to the xenophobia attack, and it was very hectic for us. So we couldn't have a sustainable life there. So that is why His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama made a virtual plan for us to evacuate and come to Ghana. So I'm really happy to come back home, and I hope people can see me and they're gonna be also happy, and I'm happy that home sweet home. Thank you all.
You're happy that you're home. Did you see any of these attacks? Did you experience it yourself when you're in South Africa?
Yes. I've experienced it so many times. I've been hijacked before, and I've been shot upon, and they took my car from me, and then I still got a bullet rightly in my spine, and which they failed to take it out. So those are some of my experiences which I encounter in South Africa.
So what's next for you now that you are home sweet home, like you said? What's the next plan for you personally?
Apparently, we're waiting for the government, and the government is going to give us a job and also make an incentives for us to enhance on our performances here.
Thank you.
South Africa for no more tatai, no more buoy. Until you say, baby, no, say, you feel my name. And in penny for us, Adi Maya, and Yedia, or Modi privacy was say, Yen, I am full on Yamala, or my idea. Yamin Shaw.
I said more possible.
Yen, you trade, dear, ye buy. They say, a bit so almost ever. And tear dampen voice, Yamin Shaw, or my idea.
So I wish for us to be here in Ghana, because here it's very safe and happy for all Ghanaians. Because
what exactly happened to you in South Africa? Were you attacked?
Yeah, I was attacked 2020. I forgot the date, but it was 2 years ago. they arrest me and my child, this little girl, when she was 2 years old, for this passport issue in South Africa. So I'm very happy to be home.
Oh, Mama. She perform Magana. I dear Muffy, please, Shema Bessia. Ah, oh, very proud. Hey, oh, Mama. She perform Magana. I dear Muffy, please, Shema Bessia. Ah, oh, very proud. Hey, yeah. Kwabi urade me da say kwabi ka ho ene papa ayi su ka ho urade me da say wanu ko fom ai me ra ku o ma ye mre ai mu yira me ra ku ho o ma ye mre o mu nyina gu ni ndela o ma ye mre
Tears of joy of some Ghanaians there. It's yesterday, if you were at the airport yesterday and you saw the Ghanaian nationals who have arrived from South Africa, you'd see how excited they were. When the minister came around singing his praises, singing the praises of the Ghanaian High Commissioner to South Africa, as well as the praise of President John Dramani Mahama. We can take a listen to Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, the Foreign Affairs Minister, when he took receipts, or when the 300 Ghanaians arrived in the country.
To Ghana, your own country, to the motherland. We thank God for safe journey. We thank the Almighty for protecting our lives. And we thank Him for giving us a leader in the person of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who values the lives of Ghanaians. Today, the Mahama administration is demonstrating that wherever Ghanaians are, we will make sure you are protected, your dignity is respected, and we will go to the length of this world to bring you back home safely. On behalf of President John Dramani Mahama, we say Akwaba to all of you. Obake, Wenzolo, and we want to thank all our partners. The Chief of Staff has been very instrumental.
Most importantly, we want to encourage our brothers and sisters. Once they are back home, they should be very optimistic and hopeful about the future. Because I believe sincerely that sometimes God has different ways of opening new doors. And so let's be very optimistic. As a nation, we shall always stand by our people, no matter where you find us.
In English, it's a hyperbole, where I think the Ghanaian government really overreacted. I think it's disappointing, man. I think we've had a lot of respect for Ghana as a country and for the people of Ghana, and we still do. But for them to react in the way that they did is largely dishonest, because for them to claim that there were people who were beaten up when they know there were no people beaten up. And
wouldn't even want to give credence to what the South African official is saying. Wouldn't want to entertain that. If she were Ghanaian, she would know what we're talking about. But let's have a conversation on the back of this and speak with Dr. Elvis Bota. He's with the Center for Peace and Security Research, University of Professional Studies, UPSA. Doc, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning to you.
Thank you very much for having me. Good morning to our cherished listeners this morning.
I'm sure you've paid attention to the recent happenings in South Africa concerning the attacks on Ghanaians by South Africans. Now, we know that this is not the first time that something like this has happened. As far back as 2008, we had concerns where about 30 people were killed from the xenophobic attacks. Over 300 of them were displaced. We just went through the statistics. But now the latest is that 300 of our brothers and sisters have returned to Ghana. Let's talk about this. What exactly is happening now with Ghanaians returning from South Africa, and how serious is this wave compared to past migration crises?
Okay, so thank you very much once more. It's a very sad situation for Pan-Africanism, and I just want to use this opportunity to, whilst appreciating government for the swift interventions, also extend my warmth to the families of affected, people and retainees. We are with them in these very difficult times. Actually, what is happening at the moment for me, like you reiterated, the statistics shows that, from 2008 till date, we've had some volatility in terms of these xenophobic attacks. For me, it really reflects a recurring contradiction in African regionalism. Yes, emotional as we can be, the matter is one that falls at the intersection of diplomacy, international law, and human rights, so that we can delve extensively with the issue of migration. From a purely international relations perspective, you realize that, yes, there may be triggers, socioeconomic circumstances, disparities, and exclusion in South Africa may have triggered, such behavior by South African indigents. And usually it goes beyond the logic of mere criminal activity to one that goes deeper into hate violence. So what we are experiencing in South Africa in the nature of xenophobia is purely hate violence against other African nationals, and that must be put on record. And that is why I said it defeats the essence of African regionalism, to the extent that if an African who has sworn to be part of the Pan-African struggle can hate another Africa, then it becomes an issue. There's an interesting historical fact we are missing, and it is that South Africa is about one of the last in the continent to gain independence from the apartheid regime. And this is a country that has benefited the material contribution, the financial and military support, as well as political solidarity from almost every single African country, especially Ghana. From Nkrumah through to Rawlings, South Africa have benefited immensely. So for our citizens and other African nationals to be going through what they are going through in South Africa is highly condemnable. From the perspective of international law, one may argue that, yes, South Africa has the sovereign right to regulate immigration. Yes, the removal of undocumented migrants can be part of that. However, even from the angle of sovereignty, that concept is impaired by international human rights. So these people you are sacking and not giving them the opportunity to even pick bags and luggages. That alone is an affront on their inalienable rights. And remember, these rights are inalienable, they are indivisible, because both Ghana and South Africa are, beyond our diplomatic relations, are all signatories to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the Vienna Convention. So for me, this is complete disrespect for our own sovereignty, especially at a time they have their multinational firms here cashing in from Ghanaian nationals. They have their own private citizens in Ghana doing their own things. Should this call for retaliatory attacks? But the answer to that is a clear no.
Okay.
For our retainees and for the sake of the numbers we still have there, and in particular, the diplomatic relations between Ghana and South Africa, Ghana must still advance diplomatically on this from 3 angles. 1, the protection of our citizens. 2, the preserving of Ghana-South African relations. And 3, to avoid retaliatory populism.
Okay.
So we have 2 things now, and the foreign minister is doing well so far in the first 2. But what matters most now is how do we reintegrate
exactly, Doc, and
these
it's
people who have been retained.
It's
That
the
is
core.
the critical question.
It's the core of our conversation this morning. How well has Ghana historically managed situations where citizens return home under pressure like this? A case in point is the Ghana must go situation in 1983.
Yes, so that is a key historical reference you have just made. And I must say that usually in these situations, our governments have done so well in terms of the ability to bring in people. But where we fail is how to have these people responsibly reintegrated. And not just reintegrated in society and in their families, but to do so with dignity. So for me, at this point, the retainees, first of all, must not be seen as failures. That is the first thing we can do for them. You see, a lot of them migrated because of economic pressures in search of greener pastures. So now that they have come, having lost years of struggle, our reintegration should be very deliberate. 1, we must first camp these people and provide accommodation, temporary accommodation to all of them without immediately getting them to their families. Yes, the families will have access to them, but we need to keep them. We need to profile all retainees in terms of having first-hand information on their documentation processes, number 1. Number 2, what skill sets do they have? If we conduct a skill assessment, then we look at their vulnerability to know what kind of, if you like it, call it the psychosocial support system we can give to them. Some of them have made investments back home, and now that they have come, they will want to manage them. So the next thing Foreign Affairs must collaborate with Trade Ministry to do is to offer business advisory services. Then we can even link some to jobs and to apprenticeship, especially for those who are doing menial jobs there. As they've come back, apprenticeship should be the way to go. And those with some form of entrepreneurial capacity, this is the time we must see the effectiveness and the relevance of institutions like MASLOC, institutions like the Ghana Enterprise Agency, and so on, and other regulatory bodies that can help connect them with private sector programs. And even at the local level, the district assemblies, there should be an immediate directive for at least a 5 to 10% of their common fund to be immediately put into this diaspora reintegration scheme we want to do.
Right.
If we do that, then you realize that their psychological and emotional disturbances will be restored. They will be well consoled, and this will even cause a much greater psychological bond of patriotism with their nation. That is what we need to do, and I have absolute confidence that if the right advice is given, the government of the day has shown tremendous concern and commitment to this matter. The foreign minister, I must commend his actions. And, you know, he has done such emergency issues before. If not for anything, when we had the flooding in his constituency, Honorable Okudzeto Blackwell did a good showmanship of great leadership with how he handled that issue. And so, that alone should stand as a testament for lessons for our crisis management. So having him at the forefront of this, I am absolutely pleasured that with the right advices as we contribute in, he should be able to make the right integration for these people.
Let's talk about lessons that Ghana should have learned from the 1983 experience and how that should guide how we handle today's returnees.
You You see, yes, so the 1983 issue, an estimated 2.4 million West Africans, about half of whom were actually Ghanaians. The biggest lesson there is that these mass expulsions hardly really resolve economic problems. Yes, they may satisfy domestic anger, but that is even temporary. However, the real dangers of trust, traumatization, continue to exist. Now, what we must do is that you strike a balance between the ratio of your nationals who are immigrants elsewhere and the proportion of same from that country in your country. Then you realize that we are always at the upper scale. A clear indication that there is a fundamental lapse in our economic advancement. Government must therefore turn serious attention to an industrial plan, starting with cottage industries. We are jumping the gun with this whole technological sophistication thing. Yes, digital inclusion, correct, but if you jump steps, you will fail. So Ghana should first start with cottage industries. That will switch our educational appetite into hands-on training, in the engineering and related skill sets. That way, every region has a unique resource endowment with which, if we have a cottage industry in every region, it will be a better thing than what we were witnessing as one district, one factory. Cottage industry is feasible. So then we will be able to boost the local economy and retain a lot of our people here.
Okay.
Now, the issue is not only with unskilled labor, it even has to do with you and I who are very skilled. Because of the economic situations of the country with all of these IMF and other global financial schemes that we've entangled ourselves in, remunerations are poor, and it is an incentive to brain drain. So for us to solve the issue, we have to go back, revisit our notes on industrialization. So long as we continue to drive an import-driven economy, we'll only speak rhetoric, but these things will continue because you can't stop private citizens from searching for greener pastures. And this is what we get back. Now look at the huge sums of monies we are spending on these people, their return, their reintegration, if we will do it properly. And if we don't do it properly, some of them will become criminals. So this issue is also one that can trigger, a boost in criminal activity if we don't handle that properly. And so if you look at the eventual cost of not industrializing and dealing with emergencies like this, then you have a problem. So let us securitize the returnees. Let's securitize the return of these victims of xenophobia.
Okay. Right.
So that we can have the same sense of agency to put such monies into cottage industries and urban center artisanal jobs, and we can make a headway.
Prof, my last question to you is that now that we have some Ghanaians back and others are returning, we've spoken about how to reintegrate them amongst others. There is, however, an underlying concern. You mentioned it briefly in your earlier submissions about reprisal attacks, retaliatory attacks by Ghanaians against South Africans in the country. Now, this will not be an official position of the country to South Africans living here. But already there will be concerns, undertones that if you're treating my brother bad, then I'm likely to do the same to you. How are we able to, in terms of security, still maintain healthy diplomatic relations with South Africa and then not do what they are doing to us? Granted that we are not happy with how they are treating our brothers and sisters. Briefly.
Yeah, so truth be told that the South African government is doing little than expected on this matter. And their defense is that the activities in South Africa constituting xenophobia are not coordinated at state level. Yes, we agree. So if we also sit down and don't talk to our citizens, and our private citizens take it up in their own hands to begin to attack South Africans, government can also decide to say that, well, we are not coordinating it, and that is where the problem really is. What Ghana must do, first of all, is to exercise top leadership. Immediately, as part of the integration effort, government must engage the media, must engage civil society in actually calming affected families in particular and the Ghanaian youth generally. Number two, the Foreign Affairs Ministry must again contact the South African missions here. We need to hear a formal apology from them as soon as possible and a sense of remorseness.
Right.
Number three, you see, this whole thing called xenophobia is one of the precursors is that there is what we call violence entrepreneurship. So unemployed guys, they can just get up, mobilize a paramilitary move and do this so that government engages them, give them money to come. Then after they finish spending their money, they hit the street again. So it is violence entrepreneurship that is manifesting as xenophobia. It's not just the quest to repossess their land.
Right.
Otherwise, they would have been fighting the whites there.
Okay.
So for us to avoid such in Ghana, we need to immediately embark on, a national appeal. We owe that as part of our obligations to both domestic and international custom.
Right.
Now, the sensitivity of it will lie in the ability of our government to, in the end, realize that at the AU level, Ghana is the key feature of political, social integration. Whilst the economic bit of it lies with South Africa and to some extent Nigeria. So a diplomatic strain between these two will break into a continental laugh that will not augur well for the broader African voice in global affairs. In that sense, Ghana must exercise every bit of restraint whilst issuing firm deadlines on and conditions on how the remaining Ghanaians there are handled, without which government must take drastic action targeting South African corporations in Ghana as a way of compelling their government to act swiftly. That is the only way to go. So yes, we will go firm, but we will also go, undiplomatic if they don't meet concerns raised with conditionalities.
Dr. Botta, I'd like to thank you so much for your time with us on the program. Thank you so much, Doc.
Thank you. Do have a blessed day.
We're speaking with Dr. Elvis Botta, lecturer, UPSA Center for Peace and Security Research there.
We were there when it shone. For we were there.
And Codjoe is also here with me. Prosper, I'll bring you into the conversation now. You've followed the recent happenings. Now Ghanaians they have arrived. Some of them have arrived. There's still a number there that will have to come. A lot of applause going to the Foreign Affairs Ministry for how they have handled the situation, barring the initial, hiccups here and there. But now we seem to have a hold on the situation, don't you think so?
Well, good morning to your listeners and viewers. Ordinary home is home. There is no better place like home.
Sweet home.
Yes, so ordinarily when you have colleague Ghanaians coming back home, it gives a very good signal, and it's a good thing to see Ghanaians home. I think the real issue needs to be tackled heads on. The issue where South Africans feel their economic growth or their employment is being threatened because of foreigners. I said this on other platforms that an African who doesn't feel safe in any African country is truly not an African, doesn't feel safe in anywhere. That's the whole thing. If you don't feel safe in Africa as an African, you probably will not even feel safe in even Europe. And this has nothing to do with Ghana, South Africa. This is an African solidarity. We've seen in instances where there has been attack on Nigerians predominantly, and we were like the Ufiasem, and we're very quiet observing. Then now it translated to a broader section of the African population in South Africa, which doesn't order well. You may say, or their argument is that this is not a coordinated event from government.
It's not state sanctioned.
It's not state sanctioned. But you see, when you are a government and there is lawlessness happening in your country and you supervise it, You supervise it by keeping mute, by keeping quiet to such lawlessness. It's coordinated. You can't tell me that when onto this attack happened, when Ghanaians suddenly wake up and start attacking South African companies, we'll say it's not a coordinated activity from government, and so we should keep quiet. I know very well that there are reports where the gold mine at, how do you call it, there are good fields also. When Ghanaians try to evade there for some of these petty mining activities, when they go there for some of the scrabbles there, they attack them because they feel they are encroaching on their property.
Right.
So if you have a situation where some Ghanaians also feel this is the best opportunity or this is the best way to attack them, are we going or are we coming as African? What happened to all the investments we've put in to ensure that we have a united front as an African country? Here's a case where we are trying to promote a united front by having a common currency for Africa. Pan-Africanism. And I think it's just on paper, but in reality, we are deceiving each other. Because if you have Ghanaians there, and true to your words, you feel they went there without any proper documentation. Your country has laws as to how to ensure they are brought back to their original country, their country of origin. It's not by attacking them. We know very much well that there are South Africans in this country who have overstayed.
They're welcome.
They are welcome
but
here.
They're still here.
Should we also go and attack them? It doesn't paint a good picture about the whole situation.
You see, just to add to the point that you're making, it appears that this may not come across as a state-sanctioned activity. However, there are institutions in South Africa that are indirectly facilitating something like this. So yesterday, in a conversation, there's maybe a Ghanaian national in South Africa. You own a business, registered business there. You're working. You have permit for maybe 2 years. After 2 years, you go seeking renewal, but it never happens. And this is from the institution. You, the Ghanaian national, you've gone there willingly that, oh, my stay is expiring, so I need you to renew for me. Whatever I need to do, I'll do it for you. I'll do for you to renew, but then you're not renewing for me. Then later, the South African officials will now come, like they were saying when we wanted to bring these 300 back there, and say that out of the 800 that have registered, only about 10 of them are legal. It beats logic to think that all of them decided to be illegal. It is certainly true that there's a percentage who attempt to register, to legalize the operations there, but the system, the institutions there seem to be facilitating or fanning this xenophobic concerns we're having in South Africa.
You see, how do I put this? It's a way of solidifying or giving reason for the attack.
Yes.
Because if I'm to legalize my operations in your country and you frustrate the entire process, and so when your colleague citizens approach me to assess my status in your country and there is no proper documentation to show that I have a legal status to be in your country, then they may want to justify the attack.
Yes.
That's basically what they are doing. So in a way, they are facilitating it.
Yeah.
Imagine yesterday I just saw a news article where we are told Goldfields wants to renew their mining concession, the agreement they have in this country. Fantastic. So you have a situation where the government tries to frustrate this entire process. Then you have indigenes here begin to attack them.
Because they are staying illegal.
Because they've overstayed their welcome. And there is no documentation that shows that once you are in the process of renewing your contract or your papers, there is a permission for you to stay here.
To cover you.
To cover you. There's that insurance for that. So basically, the state is one way or the other facilitating whatever that happened. The lady that spoke that said, we overreacting. Who is she in the scheme of things?
In her capacity as what?
Who is she? Or she's the gang leader. She's the one leading the whole process.
Why hasn't she been arrested?
She's a youth activist, but they are not even arresting the people who are.
Yes, because their laws are crafted in a way that, like he's saying, it more or less like justifies this xenophobia, and it's been institutionalized.
Okay,
it's been institutionalized to a fault. Imagine. We're hearing, oh, you're not documented, get out of the... Are you an immigration officer?
And have you heard their president speak on it?
No, we have not heard...
Have you heard their foreign minister speak on it?
It looks like every time when there's an election...
Yes.
When their elections are nearing,
yes.
there
is this undertone of attacking...
have
you heard their interior minister speak on it?
A business owner in South Africa said, in the presence of the mayor of South Africa, the mayor closed the business, gave the key to South Africans who were doing these things, said, take over the business.
So you see, it's state facilitated. Basically, that's the whole thing. You've not heard the president speak to it. You've not heard their foreign minister speak to it. You've not heard their interior minister speak to it. And you are telling me that this whole thing happened in South Africa. They've not heard about it. What are you talking about? This is state-sponsored activity. Basically, that's it. And you see, South Africans need to know that other African countries in their country are not the reason why they are unemployed. There is this video going around, I think in Europe, whether it's a meme, but it gives credence to whatever is happening in South Africa, where the whites were basically pursuing the blacks out of their country. And a journalist was interviewing one of the guys, and he was like, they've taken all our jobs. They've taken everything from us. They have this qualification. They've taken, and the journalist asked the guy, so what's your qualification? He said, oh, they've taken all their qualification. So you see, we are not the reason for the problem they have in their country. They should try and have their government deal with their unemployment situation. Ghanaians
30% unemployment rate.
Just look at that, and it's not a reason why we have this situation.
And Kay, before you take leave of us, Kay, I want us to talk about how to move the conversation forward, and we'll be brief with that. So now they are in the country. Our brothers and sisters, the 300 of them have come. What next for them? Who is rebuilding the lives of the evacuated Ghanaians? When the camera leaves.
Yeah.
When the conversation stops about how they are welcome, about the package, the incentives we have for them, we know that there's something government is doing. When the camera leaves, when the microphone is out of the place, what happens to the real life experiences of these nationals who may be living their best lives in South Africa, but due to unforeseen circumstances have to come back into the country?
In fact, for me, I'm quite disappointed in South African companies and organizations locally, because I haven't seen a single letter of solidarity or a single letter condemning xenophobia in their country.
Okay.
One would have even thought that when the government proposed evacuation, the likes of Goldfields and Brawl and Stanbic Bank and the likes would, readily say, hey, this is our quota. Go and bring your people back. This is our solidarity commitment.
Okay.
Go bring our people back. One would have even thought that they will engage the government further.
Okay.
So whilst these returnees are here now, there would be some sort of reintegration on their part, collaborative reintegration on their part. But unfortunately, we haven't seen that.
Okay, Isaac Kweku Nketia is an evacuee from South Africa. Isaac, welcome. Speak into the microphone for me, Isaac. Good to see you. How are you doing?
Nice, Grace. I'm kicking nice.
How was the experience in South Africa?
The experience in South Africa is a lot. It's a lot. Very, very terrible. Because the South Africans have even given all the foreigners, especially the foreigners, on 30th June, all foreigners must go to their country, which is very bad.
Did they attack you too?
I was once attacked.
What happened? Tell us.
I was once attacked, but my attack was eventually... You see, in Ghana, I was once a security personnel.
Okay.
So sometimes when I maybe when there's a roadblock or traffic, sometimes I do help to let the cars move. I suspected some guys who want to steal a car, and I then give the police of South Africa information.
So you tip them off?
I tip them off.
Good.
So immediately those guys saw that I just tipped the police off. They just come after me.
Oh.
And they shoot me with the Amazuru stick. Serious.
And I understand you have bruises all over your body.
Yes.
From the attacks happening in South Africa.
Yeah. It beat me to the nonsense degree.
Sorry about that. So since this new wave of attacks started, how has the experience been in South Africa? And we'll share videos with you. Isaac is talking about how he was attacked in South Africa. We'll put those videos on Facebook very soon. Frederick will come for the videos and then we'll put it on Facebook. Join us on Facebook right now, where you see one evacuee from South Africa, a Ghanaian who was living in South Africa, how he was attacked in South Africa through no fault of his, how bad the situation is. But Isaac, we're talking about the most recent spree of attacks. How is it like?
Very terrible. Very terrible.
So you'll be walking in the street of South Africa, and then somebody will come and ask you, are you South African? How do they do it?
You see, when you are in your shop.
Mm-hmm. So you have a shop?
Yeah, I work in a shop.
Okay.
In a saloon.
Okay.
So when you are in the shop, sometimes the police and the immigration come to you.
Mm-hmm.
These people, when they come to you, they come to you in peace.
The police and the immigration?
Yes,
okay.
They come to you in peace, ask of you about your documents. But those civilians, the Amazurus, those ones are going crazy. Those ones are the craziest ones in the country, and they are not only those people in the country. You get me? They have a lot of tribes. Even what they are doing now, some of the tribes are not agree with what they are doing. You get me? And Mr. Malema once said he wished he was a president so that all the foreigners could have even paid. He would do some papers for them so that if the paper expires, you go and renew it so that the money can serve the country as an income.
Okay. So when the citizens come to the shop, what do they ask you?
The citizens, when they come, they just say go, because you are for them. They don't ask you about papers.
They don't even care about it.
No. Them, they said the foreigners have taken their jobs.
So whether you are legal or illegal, they just want you out.
They just want you out. You get me? Until the police and the immigrations will come in and verify whether your papers, your documentations are right.
So when they come in, they verify the documentation is right. Then what happens?
The police, if they find out that the documentations are right, they just leave you.
Okay.
But for the citizens, those ones, because some of them are thieves and they don't like work, when they come in, this is the time for them to steal. You get me? Some come, break into the shop, take whatever they like,
and then just go away. I see. On Facebook right now, we're seeing some of the scars you have on your body from these attacks in South Africa. So I'm sure that you were happy you're back in Ghana.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
How was the process to come back to Ghana like?
Oh, very excited, very excited. All the Ghanaians who are in here, South Africa now, we really appreciate the government, especially the judiciary service, the legislature, and the executives. I mean, the cabinet.
So before you came, what did you do? How did you register? What did they tell you?
Yeah, I go to the High Commission of Ghana in South Africa, at the Pretoria, and they register me. They took me to a process because my bag was stolen, my luggage was stolen, my phone was stolen. Everything was stolen. Even nothing. I don't have any documentation. But luckily, I have a photocopy of my passport picture, which I sent to a friend of mine. So he sent it to me back, and I did a photocopy and I sent it to the High Commission. So they start the process that way. And when we went there, in fact, the government did well because the government rent a hotel for us, feed us from day one. The government feed us, rent a hotel for us. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and feed us as well. From day one, the process started going on Sunday. Even not before Sunday. Sometimes, I live in Hartfield and I work in Hartfield.
Okay.
Yeah, so sometimes I just go there to greet His Excellency. Yes, and sometimes he don't just look me just like that. Anytime I show myself, at least,
right,
he give me something.
So now that you have come to Ghana, what is the Foreign Affairs Ministry telling you? What are Ghanaian officials telling you?
Oh, the Ghanaian officials told us that definitely, so far as we have come, they will find ways and means for us to become, so that at least we can get a job to do.
Okay, so they are promising you jobs.
Yes.
Okay.
And me like this particularly, before I was leaving the country, I'm a driver and a rider. I have my lances, and I was once a security personnel. So whilst I'm here now, I think the money they gave us, I made up my mind that maybe today I'll go to the DVLA to retrieve my lances back so that I can see the way forward.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so as you people have come...
So they gave you money when you came?
Yes, that's what we're talking
give
about.
You money. Yes. Oh, okay.
So let's talk about the package that has been given to you.
Yes.
What packages do you have?
I have rice, I have oil, I have soaps, I have nets, and I have a bed sheet. Yes.
So you have those who do not have homes or houses now have a place to sleep, do they?
Yeah, at least you see the money they give them, they can find some.
How much did they give to them?
The package in the envelope particular was 5,000.
Okay.
Before your transport to your destination is also 500. So in total, all is 5.5.
Okay, so all 300 of Ghanaians who have arrived in Ghana from South Africa, apart from the rice, oil, the basic things that was given to them, they were also giving 5,500 cedis.
Yes, please.
Okay, for your upkeep.
Yes, please.
To see where you're going, what you want to do, and all of that.
Yes, please.
And that's what you plan to use some to do your license registration and all of that.
Yes,
I see. Your brother is also here, George Amwakonketia. George, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. When Isaac was in South Africa and there were reports of xenophobic attacks there, what was going through your mind? Get closer to the microphone.
Actually, I was a bit disturbed, so I tried to reach out to him, but unfortunately, I think I couldn't get him. By then, I learned he was at a deportation camp. Maybe forget to tell more about that deportation camp, what he went through there. So I was just disturbed till later I heard that maybe he was then released from the deportation camp.
So you were not hearing from him as well?
Yeah. The last time I heard from him was Easter Friday.
Easter Friday.
So he was about to send me money. That was Easter Friday. So he promised me on Wednesday before the Easter Friday. So that was when I didn't hear of him. So I thought maybe he was lying to me. So I tried to reach out and I couldn't get him, and I tried to call my cellmates there, and they tried to tell me like they've not heard about anything about him. So maybe we should just give some time. They have a WhatsApp group which are from like those Ghanaians that are living in South Africa.
Okay.
So maybe they'll contact one of them and maybe send some pictures of him so that they can go around and see if they can locate where he is.
So when you saw him yesterday, how was the feeling like?
Oh, I was shocked though. Actually, I saw the video on Facebook and TikTok, so I was shocked. Yeah, when I saw him, I was happy. Actually, and how he came, I didn't like it because that was not how he was supposed to come. So,
but the most important is that he's here.
Yeah.
I see, and that adds to the expectations of various families that these our brothers and sisters have gone overseas. That's how we'll talk about it. So they should come with something better. Unfortunately, they're coming with, under these circumstances, it will affect their psyche and all of that. But thank you so much for telling us, George. Please allow me to speak to Victor Achu-Togo. He's a delegate and NDC Assistant Secretary in Johannesburg. Victor, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm blessed.
So you are stationed in Johannesburg. That's where you also work.
100%.
What is your experience?
We've had a lot of experience in South Africa, actually. Experience, some of the experience which we've encountered is the xenophobia attack. And this attack usually starts, they usually do that every year. So it's like this time around, it's been rampant. And then I think due to the killing, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama asked us to come back home because home sweet home, and he's gonna cater for us and then also give us some job opportunity. So I think that is enough for us.
I see. And it's good to know that the government took this very seriously and has helped our brothers and sisters coming to the country. Isaac has spoken about the plan for settlement to ease them back into the society. It's no different, is it?
Like, please come again.
So what I'm asking is that what government has planned to do, or what government is doing for our brothers and sisters. I don't think you disagree with it. You think it's a step in the right direction.
No, it is one of the greatest opportunities that one could enhance on, because it's not that easy, but he's a father who thinks about his kid, and he wouldn't like to see his kid struggling. So I think whatever he has said, he will implement that. Believe me, he's a savior. He's a savior.
How long have you been in South Africa?
I've been in South Africa, let's say 16, 18 years now.
16, 18 years.
Yeah,
You're
16 to 18 years.
You're almost talking like them.
Of course, yes.
I see. So you say it happens every year.
Every year.
These
every
attacks.
year.
Have you had any personal experience?
Yeah, I was doing Ubering. I was Ubering before, and that was 2019. 2nd December, I got hijacked. So they ended up by shooting at me, and then out of that, as I'm speaking, I got 1 bullet in my spine, but they couldn't take it out due to they said I'll be paralyzed if
paralyzed,
paralyzed if they can take it out. Yes. So I'm living with a bullet. I'm like a bulletproof now. It's very funny, but I would say by the grace of God, yes. I still live and I'm still strong. People live with bullet there in South Africa. You can see if someone lives with a bullet right inside his skull.
Is it difficult to legalize your stay in South Africa?
It's highly difficult because of their criteria. They got so many criteria whereby you can't even meet that criteria. So everything about South Africa is money, and you need to have more money before you can be able to fit the system.
I see. How's your experience like, Isaac, to legalize your stay in South Africa?
To legalize my stay in South Africa was very difficult, because even though I was arrested because of papers, and later, after my sentence, I was sent to jail. After my sentence, the Home Affairs came after me, take me to the deportation center. I spent 1 month, 1 week. For the Home Affairs to keep you at the deportation center, it takes 120 days there. Before they said they will deport you, but they cannot deport you because they don't have money for your flight ticket. Those they usually deport are those nearby countries that goes with buses. Mozambique, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Lesotho. Those people are the people, when they want to deport them, they deport them with free buses. But those coming from West Africa, it's very, very difficult. Congo, Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, they just keep you there 120 days and then release you. After the release, they will give you 1 month for you to prepare to leave the country. As for me, I took a lawyer, and the lawyer filed a release letter from High Court of Gauteng. So after they give me the release letter, I was released from Lindela.
Okay.
18th November 2025. So the lawyer gave me the forms for me to go to Home Affairs for them to do a refugee file for me. But when I went, all the time if I go, they postpone me. Go and come. How? Because it's money.
Okay.
You get me?
Okay.
Because without money, nothing is free. That's when South Africa say nothing is mahala. Nothing is free in South Africa.
That's how they say. Nothing is mahala.
Nothing is mahala.
I see.
So for you to be able to achieve something, if you don't have money, you can't. You can't.
So back to you, Achu. So now that you're in Ghana, what next?
First and foremost, I would like to thank His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and also I would like to thank the Ghana High Commissioner Benjamin Kofi Kwashi. And thirdly, I would like to thank the Foreign Minister, Honorable Samuel Brakwa. So the last person I would like to thank is Ibrahim, His Excellency, Honorable Ibrahim. So, let's say for now, I'm happy that I'm home. And home, sweet home. I could see even the sea breeze. I can feel that, my soul is settled. Because, for instance, compared to Johannesburg, you will be walking and you're scared of people asking you of your document. They want your document. And if they arrest you, they take money and bring you back. And the next thing, another person is going to arrest you again. So it's like a business. They put you inside, you pay, you come out, another person going. So I'm so happy that I'm home, and what I'm expecting is that at least I will get some job and do, and then keep on going.
You've been promised jobs, right?
Please?
You've been promised jobs.
Yes, please.
Okay. And the package has also been given to you, just like Isaac. You also have your 5,500.
Absolutely, yes.
And some bags of rice, oil, food, sardines, and all of that.
True.
I see.
That is really nice.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much, Isaac. Thank you so much, Achu, for joining us.
Thank you.
They did and pushed Lindiwe Zulu out of school, Lindiwe Zulu out of school, and saying you are not worth of education. I must repeat that. I must do that. I will never do that. You can take your votes. Let me die with my conscience very clear. I will never refuse a pregnant woman of African descent to give birth in the clinics of South Africa. Never will I do that.
Well, Julius Malema there, and he is firing back on xenophobia in South Africa. So what is happening in South Africa? Not all South Africans are happy about it. Not all South Africans are happy about what is happening in South Africa. Prosper Nati is still here with me, and I've been joined also by the NDC communication team member to also talk about the conversation. I'm talking about Richard Manrube, senior communicator for the NDC. Richard, thank you for joining us. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing super. I hope you're fine too.
I'm well, thank you. And your government is getting all the applause for how they have handled the South African situation. I'm sure it gives you a lot of pleasure.
In fact, I think it gives all Ghanaians pleasure.
It does.
I mean, it gives a credit to the country, and then it gives credibility to the country. It makes everybody in the diaspora community knows that they are protected anywhere, as the Foreign Affairs Minister said.
Ghanaians are not orphans.
Of course, but they are not orphans. You know, the society, with the globalization, society is interconnected, and then there's no way you can't say you are doing business only in your country. Businesses must be done everywhere. That's why we're creating. But that's why the remittances also come to the country for national development. They are not orphans. But you know, genetically, this racism, xenophobiaism, and all these things has been there. Even in our local communities, we expect these things to happen. And so when you have a government that can quickly respond to such things, I think that we should applaud that government. And this has been a government who cares about the country. Resetting agenda doesn't really mean limited into the country. It's within and outside the country. So for that case, I think we have to applaud the Foreign Affairs Minister and the President. And I watched those who have the first batch who have arrived yesterday.
Yeah.
I can see their joy. I can see they are relieved. This shows that they were going through a lot of things that we didn't know. This shows that a lot has happened that we didn't know, but there was lack of information. And I think that we should be very, very, very careful as a nation and look critically on preventive measures in everything we do. We shouldn't wait till incidents like this happen, then we go. I watched a gentleman who was beaten mercilessly. And look at the gentleman said he has been detained for how many years? The other one said he has a bullet at the on him. So everybody that is in this country today has a story. That shows that there's a lot of things that is going on in South Africa there. It might be South Africa today. We do know what is happening to our Ghanaians in Nigeria. You have no idea. You have no idea. It's not this same Ghanaians that 60 or were killed in Gambia. So these are the things that are happening. But I think that the government is taking credit today, and everybody is happy because President Mahama has responded to the plight of these Ghanaians. And initially, the MPP wanted to do politics with this when we were saying that the day that we needed to bring them was changed. Look, reality is that somebody staying in another man's country for 15 years, 20 years, coming back to his country must be profiled. You understand? The person must be purely profiled. Do you know? In as much as we are saying, oh, they are back, do you know what they also go through? Why did they travel there? Do they have any cases there, criminal cases there? Number two, most of the Ghanaians that are in this country today, they have businesses in South Africa. A gentleman said he has 6 cars, he has house, and those things. He left his wife there, is here. So if you are evacuating the person to the country, do you just evacuate the person to the country? You must look at it. What will be the legal binding? Who takes care of the businesses? How is the business going to be structured? Because he's not coming to start a fresh life today. I was born and bred in Nkwanta South constituency, grew up there, contested elections there. But trust me, I've been in Accra for the position. I've been in Accra for 8 years. If you ask me to go and stay in Nkwanta today for 3 months, I can't. Not because I don't like my hometown. This is where my businesses run. Right. This is where I'm very familiar with today.
This is where your life is now.
Yes. So
it's like plucking you out and taking you
to a new system. So these are the things the president and the government has considered. And the good news is that when they arrived, we will be able to support them to wherever they are going. If you are going to Kumasi, if you are going to Bunkurugu, if you are going to Yoyo, wherever it is, we give you transportation and give you evacuation allowance to be able to integrate into the society. We all know.
Isaac mentioned 5,000 cities as the package plus 500 cities.
So that is what Isaac has known. But we are given evacuation allowances. It doesn't mean I just give him one. As time goes on, we take care of it for a period of time to be able to familiarize with the system. So whatever you are saying, even if you have issues in Accra, and they are taking you to Kumasi, and they've given you a transportation of 200 cities to Kumasi, and say, okay, I know you're struggling in Kumasi, you have to pay accommodation, you have to feed on food. So you'll be taking, even if it is 2,000, take this and be taking care of yourself. For the meantime, what government is also looking at a place to fix you.
Okay.
Ibrahim Mahama, engineers and planning, have also voluntarily accepted that most of them, he will integrate them into his companies, and they also have a livelihood to live. Right. So I think that we should applaud the government and every Ghanaian. This issue was so concerned about Ghana until the ranking member of Foreign Affairs, John Abu Jinapo, was trying to play mischief and mislead the Ghanaian people. But apparently, the Foreign Affairs Minister, the people in South Africa, and the government of Ghana, and Ghanaians today are very, very happy with the response we have done. And I think that this credit must be due to Ghanaians. Okay. That you have a president who care about your citizens, who believe in the people and respond quickly. Unlike those days, a government will tell you, oh, if you can't come, then remain there. Nobody mind.
Richard, leave it.
No. But if look for money, I know they look for you.
Some 32 minutes after 9. And it's good news that our brothers and sisters have arrived in Ghana. The efforts that government is putting in place to reintegrate them back into the society is applauded. Various governments, the MPP government also, while they were in government, they did some evacuation as well during COVID-19, Russia-Ukraine war, clearly indicating that the various governments, they have some thoughts of Ghanaians outside the country. Now let's move from foreign policy and migration back home to something that once brought the entire country together. It brought the country together in color, pride, and national excitement. The 13th African Games hosted here in Ghana. It was a chance to showcase Ghana's capacity, our organization, our hospitality, and our ability to stage a major international sporting event on home soil. But now that the lights have dimmed and the competition is over, different conversation is emerging about money, contract spending, accountability, and value for the taxpayer. Audit findings, procurement questions, cost escalations, all of these are now shaping a new narrative around the All-African Games. And it's forcing a national reflection. Did we truly invest in legacy, or did we simply stage a very expensive moment? I'll ask you this question, Prosper. Did we truly invest in legacy, or did we simply stage a very expensive moment?
For the All-African Games, I think we invested in legacy. I think it's evidence that, contrary to what happened during the All-African Games, the African Athletic Games, we saw an abysmal and shambolic organization.
You're talking about what happened a few weeks ago?
Yes. We saw a shambolic and disorganized organization of such an event.
Okay.
And so, truly, briefly to answer that question, we invested in, how do you call it? What was the word you used? The national heritage.
Yes.
So
in legacy.
In legacy. That's what you did. If you need to also look at the infrastructure, I think it also speaks to legacy. The Hughes Sports Stadium has been there since President Kufuor's time. Since President Kufuor started constructing it, and it's been there since. It took the previous government to facilitate its completion. We also have the Botema Sports Facility. And so if you are speaking about investing in legacy, I think even on the face value of it, you have these two projects to point to. So basically, that's it.
The Auditor General has made some very concerning findings. Outstanding liabilities, 208 million cedis. Irregularities identified, 580 million cedis. You still think it's legacy?
On principle, every member of the New Patriotic Party, of which I'm part of, is in for accountability. But I think audit reports are audit reports. These are audit reports. The individuals cited therein have not had the opportunity to respond to it officially. The former sports minister 2 days ago issued a statement that he has seen news articles citing him for one or two things, and he's also a member of parliament, and he knows very well that such a report will need to be presented to parliament for deliberation, and if necessary actions need to be taken, they'll be taken thereof. And he has expressly indicated that he's not guilty of any of such findings, and he will avail himself to any processes that may unravel the truth therein. So ordinarily, everyone will be concerned. Everyone is concerned about accountability, but audit report is merely an audit report.
So, Prosper, just like you're seeing how the All-African Games has been disorganized. For the 13th African Games as well, the eye test also showed levels of disorganization. So it moves the conversation from merely an audit report to what you and I experienced, what you and I saw. We saw and we heard volunteers were complaining that they were sleeping in darkness. Hoteliers were complaining that you have not paid us. Volunteers were crying that where are our stipends? Our allowances have not been given to us. All of these things were happening. And athletes were crying, reportedly picked up, transported in pickup trucks. We saw bicycles breaking down
during the All African Games.
All of these
and
happened.
we've not seen such. But maybe you can pull. Maybe how do you call it? You may be able to pull that report to me for me to see.
Oh, I would.
Yeah, can you do that?
I would gladly
but,
read to
but
you.
in relation to that, the isolated incidents you've identified.
Hold on a minute. Let me read to you.
Sure.
Let me read to you this story.
Sure.
Volunteers for the 2023 African Games on Tuesday have angrily expressed their disappointment after claiming some monetary promises made to them were yet to be honored. Yes.
Okay.
Although the volunteers were made aware from the start that they wouldn't be paid, some have claimed that they were later promised handsome payments after the games. And then on Tuesday, and I'm talking about 2023, near the University of Ghana Stadium, they had massed up to demand their unpaid
All right, so before the
So this is just one of the stories.
The lines you read before on Tuesday.
Yes.
Can you repeat that again?
So
some volunteers,
they were made aware that they wouldn't be paid, but they were still promised handsome payments.
So it's a contradictory report. It's a contradictory report, even from your own. I'm sure you are citing this from your own media outlet.
No, this is not from Three News.
Baba, be it as it may, this is a source you rely on to how do you call it, to present to me. And I'm saying that the volunteers themselves are presenting a contradictory report. Be it as it may, this incident do not mean that once an audit report is out, it implicates whoever has been cited in that audit report. It goes through processes.
Yes.
And so, for me, we'll just need to allow the processes to run. If truly people have embezzled funds meant for the tournament or meant for the country, they should be held liable. This is a straightforward issue. This is not an issue where we'll put up a defense when it's clear. It is clear. Evidence has been adduced to that.
Something bad
has happened during a due process. So
they should bring the money and they should
exactly. So this is not something that I'm here to defend. Audit report is audit report. Once the processes thereof are supposed to continue to unravel, if truly those identified in the audit report are complicit of that irregularities or that crime, we are all for it. So until then, this is just an audit report. It doesn't even be submitted to Parliament, to the people's representative, for them to have deliberation and necessary action.
So we should not jump the gun.
No, we shouldn't jump the gun.
We should not get ahead of ourselves.
No, we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, all African Games and matters arise. I think that I will not see Ghana having an opportunity to host an all-African game is a bad thing. I think it's one of the best achievements I think we've ever had in our sports organizations. Because I think apart from the World Cup, African Cup, we didn't have any major sports activities until all African Games that came in. But then it came to market the country. It came to promote the African culture, Ghanaian culture. I've been there during the World African Games. I've learned some cultures across the globe in Africa, the way they eat, their behavior. In fact, I was amazed. At least that one has given a picture and a clear picture of all African Games. That is what I benefited from all African Games.
Right.
And I think everybody in his angle, per where the person sits, will also have his way of benefiting from it. So it was a good move that the government of Ghana had an opportunity to host this game. But when I go to the stadium that very day, I made this assessment. I think it was that Yabrefo at Onya. He hosted me. I saw that when I go to the stadium, I was so amazed of what I saw afar. The stadium was incomplete. It was just a structured paint. Some things they used to just paint the whole stadium, and they were hosting the games. You understand? I agree that there have been an improvement in the Lagos Stadium. But that was a major problem. The organization was very poor. It's a fact. which everybody complain about it. Ghanaians raised an alarm on these particular issues. Even participants across Africa, some were worried. Some even felt that their games were not important. That is why they were not looking into some particular games. You remember the swimming people were complaining, the cycling people, the cycling also complained that they were in a pickup. I mean, some games also complained. It was not only the Ghanaian that was complaining. Some major Ghanaian participants across Africa were complaining. But in any case, you shouldn't say that it was entirely a bad program that we did. But here we come. As a transparent country as we do in Ghana, believing in democracy, the Auditor General and Ghana Audit Service has gone in to probe and audit issues around the All African Games. And I think that the report is clear. It is here. There have been recommendations, and they have done findings as to who they prosecute and who they don't prosecute. We want to tell Ghanaians, the audit report has clearly told us how people use that venture as their entrepreneurial success, which is very, very bad. It gives an aroma of corruption. It has a nice flavor of corruption. And it embarrassed the government who sat down there to do those embezzlement and to inure to their particular interest instead of looking at the futuristic purpose of what other games.
Wouldn't you agree with what Prosper is saying, that it still remains an audit finding? So let's exhaust everything. I am not
accusing anybody of embezzling money. I say it has a flavor of corruption. Right. It has an aroma of corruption. And then what the audit finding also came in. That is what I am worried about. One of the things I'm worried about this is what the Auditor General, what he identified. The Auditor General identified what? Inflated contract prices, number one. Unsupposed payments, number two. Payment irregularities, number three. Excessive accommodation and transport costs, which everybody raised concern about that one.
Oh, there's anti-doping tests overpriced.
Anti-what?
Anti-doping tests. They were overpriced
overpriced,
by
and
8
then,
million cedis.
Yes,
sports
and then
equipment overpriced.
Overpricing of sports equipment.
Vehicle branding.
Unexplained contracts and variations and all those things.
Yeah.
But you see, upon all this, if you look at Auditor General report, he's telling us something, and we should take a critical look at it. He's talking about the structures that they did assessment, which everybody complained about. They went to Botema Sports Stadium to do assessment. They went to University of Ghana Sports Stadium to do assessment. This is what they found out. I have to get you that report. They are talking about the assessment they did. Structure deficit. They are talking about drainage failure. They are talking about corrosion. Look, a structure they've just put on in less than 2 years now has been corroded. You understand? So which equipment, who did you give that contract to? What job? What kind of job has it done? Does it go into quality control and assessment to certify it before you pay the person? Corrosion, they talk about corrosion. They said incomplete works. Did that come? Am I not right now?
That's
incomplete works.
Yeah.
What shows that? That's what I'm telling you, that the University of Ghana Sports Stadium were never completed before they even started All African Games. Meanwhile, they've made budget allocation, paid contractor for it. And these are the concerns we should be raising. Because after All African Games, whatever happened, we should be looking at future. If any other games in future, what do we do? So we don't need to give money to contractors because they are chronics and friends and go and sit somewhere, and all this is to come up of a report. I agree that maybe Parliament will do assessment to it, but if you look at the recommendation of the Auditor General report, he's talking about refund. I don't know when I read it. It talks about refund. So we are also saying that when maybe Public Account Committee sits or whatever the procedure that will be taken, we must make sure that we'll do proper scrutiny and come out with finding whoever has caused financial loss to the state or whoever has taken the state money. Sometimes it's not only the politicians. The contractors are also a problem. You understand? Because if you look at all these things, Structure that you've just put in University of Ghana that I just put in 2 years has been corrupted. So the work has not been completed. So why are you lying to Ghanaians?
So Prosper, it may not be just the figureheads that we're seeing.
Yes.
The sports minister was mentioned and the 2 others.
The LOC.
The LOC chairman.
Yes, it may not just be them. There are concerns that everybody else in the value chain should also be looked at.
Yeah.
And then the investigation, the surcharging, the prosecution should also look at those brackets as well.
Yeah.
If that does not happen, it just defeats a certain purpose.
That's
Only
true.
a few will be punished.
That's true. That's true. Like I said, accountability is very, very important. But you see, Richard sits here and says the report gives an aroma of corruption because it's an audit report and the individuals cited therein have not had opportunity to how do you call it, to respond, and that contrast should be given to competent people who do their work and not just cronies. I just want to remind Richard that Mahama took Ford Expedition from a contractor who constructed the Dodo Pepesi Road. Less than 3 years, we began seeing potholes on that road. And during the Mahama's commission, he made a statement to the effect that this is by far the best road we've seen in this country. It's Richard today saying that Mahama made that assertion or that statement because the contractor was Mahama's friend and because Mahama took something from it. That's how we saw the shoddy job. And Mahama was trying to allude to the fact that that was the best road we've seen in the country during that period. It doesn't hold water. If we go by that logic, then it means that truly Mahama knew that the contractor then did a shoddy job, but because he was gifted a Ford Expedition, he tried to cover up the shoddy work by saying that was the best road contracted. You see, those sports facilities, they may be isolated or auxiliary works that may should have been completed as part of it. But you see, there is a certification that comes with hosting some of these tournaments. When you don't have that certification, you will not be permitted to host it, regardless of anything. So if the country has gotten that certification to host the tournament within that time frame, you can't come and sit here and say that the stadium wasn't completed. What do you mean that the stadium wasn't completed? And he made an assertion that it was just some painting. It was just some painting. It was just some painting. It was just some painting that was done. We knew the state of the University of Ghana Sports Stadium onto the All African Games. Are you trying to tell me that the only thing they did there was the painting that went on there?
So the stadium for the All African Games met the standard.
Yes.
Good. But does it,
including the Boteman,
does it translate into how much was spent to meet the standard? I think that's where the difference is.
The difference from that is that the fact that an Auditor General has said this, does it also translate that truly the individuals therein have committed a crime?
It does not.
It does not. So
as we speak, it does not.
It does not. So what are we debating here? We are debating the fact that someone has conducted an audit into an activity and he has come up with his finding. You see, there is a quotation in the Bible that says that he who goes to court first seems to be right until there's a cross-examination. So you see, the Auditor General may come up with a report first, but until those implicated therein in the report come up with their responses, you may think the Auditor General has done something excellent. We've had in this country where a sole commissioner sat to investigate previous administration, including the ship Joe that involved Katie Hammond, even Nana Dodankwa Akufo-Addo. They took the issue to court because the sole commissioner did not invite them to have their responses, even a sole commissioner. So the fact that an Auditor General has conducted an audit into government spending of the previous administration does not in itself mean that a wrong has been committed. I think let's wait for the due process to go on. We shouldn't jump the gun.
Of course, we'll wait for the due process to go on.
We shouldn't jump the gun, but because you see,
it also does not stop us from talking about it.
Oh yes, you can talk about it because in 2024, there were instances where your neighboring media house, GTV, there were reports that they were paid 3.6 million for coverage.
Yes, that's what the minister said. That $3 million.
Yes, then they came out to clarify that
they got 105,000.
Yes, but you see, this is a letter from the Ministry of Youth and Sports, dated 20th August 2024, and as part of the release, the minister indicated that all the outlets, all the agencies that presented quotations to cover the events, GBC presented the lowest figure. And when they engaged the GBC further, they indicated that they were subcontracting to a third party because they didn't have the equipment to cover the tournament for the 2 weeks or so duration fully. So they engaged a third party. So if you engage a third party, and between you and the third party thereof, you are entitled to a portion of that amount. You shouldn't. It doesn't necessarily mean that when someone says for the coverage they were paid 3.6 million, and GBC comes out to say, oh, we received a portion of that. It doesn't itself mean that truly they were not paid that amount, because when you look at it, in the minister's release here, it gives indication together with dates as to how much was paid. It says from the total amount, 2.5 million was paid directly to GBC in two tranches, 1 million and 1.5 million on 13th March 2024 and 22nd May 2024, respectively. Another amount of 1 million was paid to the third party upon the instruction of GBC in accordance with their contract. So you see, these were some of the things that the NDC capitalized on during the 2024 election, because we had all African Games in 2024 and they made so much noise about it. Thankfully, there is an audit report. We may want to go into the nitty-gritties of it thereof when it's submitted to Parliament. Those implicated in it, they also have the right to respond and respond accordingly. I will not come and sit here and say that once someone has been cited for wrongdoing an audit report, it means that truly the person has committed a crime.
So the full process has not been completed.
Exactly. Then there's another one here. There's another one here about tax. They made those assertions during the 2024 2024 after the games. There's another session about tax, allocation for tax. And this is a Facebook post from two NDC individuals. One from Niama Amatefiu. It says, we have no shame, we've lost it. 4.5 million was spent on accreditation tax for journalists to cover the games. This is the first one. Then there's another one from Edujin on the same tag issue. Then they shifted the team from just a tag to 4.5 million was spent on games management system and tax for journalists. So you see, even right from the onset onto this audit report, there has been conflicting reports.
I really get what you're saying.
Yes.
But I think if we go on that tangent, then we are reducing we're what people call reductive arguments. We're reducing the crux of the arguments to words and semantics and various elements. But
it is very, very important because you know why? Because you know why? If truly in the words in the budget for the tournament, 4.5 million was allocated for headphones. Then there is another report that says that the same 4.5 wasn't allocated to just headphones, but it was allocated to headphones and microphones. It changes the whole scenario. So it's not just an issue of semantics and reproductive arguments.
I understand it.
That's the whole issue.
I understand.
Once there is a report, the individuals have a right to respond. A report in itself is not a conclusion. It's not a conclusion. It's not conclusive thereof. The individuals have a right to respond. So until they respond and the competent courts or structures indicate that truly they are found complicit and they've done something wrong,
then we can
move on from there.
That's your argument. Richard, we have to go. So
quick one. I agree with him that a report cannot just cite that you are found culpable.
Yes.
There are procedures that you need to take to make sure that you do a proper scrutiny and get a finding down. The report, the Auditor General report, the people, those that have been cited, have the right to respond.
Yes.
There are queries. It happens in every audit report. But you see, the fact and the reality of the matter is that if you read the report, some part of the report are very empirical. You understand? They are very empirical to the extent that you don't even need to do any foreign.
But that's what we're talking about.
It's empirical.
At one break, you said they've not responded to it. So once they've not responded, how do you know it's empirical?
No, hold on. What I'm saying that
maybe what he meant to say is that some of them were so clear for everybody to see.
Like what? Have you seen the contract? Have you seen the cabinet approval for the initial contract?
Please. If I go to Boteman today, I see the roofing, I see the iron rod, I see everything. It's corroded. Do I even need?
And if the report says it is corroded, that is
no. But you see, when the report says,
Richard, hold on. Let him.
He has had his time.
I know, but wait for me, Richard. Let him try. Make your point.
When the report says it's corroded,
yes,
it means it may mean that they have used substandard materials. Who were those in charge? Those individuals must be held liable. But in the report, 3 individuals have been cited for that. The former sports minister, the former LOC chairman, and one other person. So there are 2 distinct things. The minister has come out to respond. The fact that there is a report doesn't mean that you holistically conclude that the 3 of them are complicit in this thing.
That has been established.
They are isolated individuals in charge of of the tournament. Those individuals, if truly they respond and their responses do not meet what is the threshold, they should be dealt with. It's as simple as that.
We understand that. I agree with you, Prosper, but what I'm saying that some part of the report are very empirical and it's so worrying.
That we also
another problem. There are no drainages.
And there's no drainage there.
This is the drainage.
I gotta chill, I gotta relax. I know they tell you no evidence. I gotta chill, I gotta relax. Hold on, I'm a pop star. You know, I'm a pop star. You know, I'm a pop star. Dynamite style. Can't you see the lifestyle? Hold on, I'm a pop star. You know I'm a pop star. You know I'm a pop star. The most dynamite style. Can't you see the lifestyle? From the mud boys, no handouts. Serious on boys, no self-doubt. Dangerous choices, but I'm in love with time. Dreams of shoveling dough. I did my part.
Very strong panel there. Strong arguments and strong statements being made there. Here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Well, we're wrapping up, Codjoe. I'm sure you have a quick take, like 30 seconds on the conversations here, the politicians. What's on your mind?
In fact, it's the same old. I think I'll just have to re-echo the same old. You know, we are sick and tired of being sick and tired as a people. And the New Guinean is more sophisticated, more technologically savvy, more aware and more conscious. The New Guinean is looking for results, not excuses. So it's important that our politicians appreciate that the voter 10 years ago or 16 years ago is not the same as they are today. They continue to become even more complex in nature. So in their governance, they should be mindful because the power of the thumb still exists. And bad governance breeds bad economies. And the people will definitely speak with their thumb when the time comes.
Absolutely. It's now time for birthdays. Let's wish some good people a birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
If today is your birthday, we wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday, the very first one to James Abankwam, brother of W01 Abankwam of West African Gas Pipeline Company. James Abankwam, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you, sir. Also, a happy birthday, blessings and glorious celebration to you, Ya Enima Ofori Atta. From your husband, DM Oforiata, Achima Boakwa State Secretary, and the children, Ama, Papa, Akutu, and Kwekudia. We all wish you a happy, happy birthday. Also, a happy birthday to Priscilla Sewa Queno. You are a living testimony of God's faithfulness. May God continue to bless you and lift you up in every way that He can and He finds fit. Happy, happy birthday to you. Also, today is a special birthday of a very glorious woman, to Miss Wendy Na Ajeti of the University of Ghana Medical Center Limited. Today is your birthday. We wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday to Gerald Osei-Boachi, Head of Corporate Affairs, and also at the Golden Star Wasa Limited. From your wife. Wifey is happy to celebrate you, the children, and Sena Atoklo. Happy birthday. Now, this one is special to me. To Auntie Rama Wolf, the only Auntie Rama that we all love. The only Auntie Rama that will cook the best palm soup for you and let you drink that nice palm soup, sip it, and then you will have to twitch your toes. The Auntie Rama of everybody's heart. Today is your birthday, and from Ni Afutu and myself and Caleb Kuda, Auntie Rama, we wish you happy birthday, live long and prosper in good health. Auntie Rama, the only Auntie Rama that we all know, Auntie Rama herself. Happy birthday. Also, happy birthday to Pastor SRM Isel, retired. Is this supposed to be RSM, not SRM? Church of Pentecost, we honor you today and pray for continued health and peace from the Isel family. Happy birthday to you, sir. And also a happy birthday to Victoria Isel. Shine brighter every year. We love you so much from the Isel family. Also a happy birthday to Michael in Isel. Hey, the Isel family are representing power. Happy birthday to you. This is from also the Isel family. On behalf of our General Overseer, Reverend Frank Davids, and the entire Supernatural Life Revival Center, we wish our beloved twins, Lady Pastor Fafa and Joanna Impari, Lady Pastor Fafa and Joanna Impari, and Lady Mrs. Emefa Joan Osei Impari. Happy birthday. Today is exceptional for you, two very industrious and intelligent women, and we cannot stop wishing you a happy birthday. We love you, and we will see you in good health up until when you are 92.7 here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Okay, Codjoe, I have to go. What's on your mind, finally, before we leave?
Well, I mean, the day is over. Now the day is over.
No, now the day is beginning.
Now the day is over for some of us. Now the day is over for some of us. We're here early. It's been an awesome conversation.
Awesome day.
Yeah, and we look forward to tomorrow.
We'll survive. We'll see you tomorrow. Know that if you can think it and your heart can believe it, you can achieve it. Baraka de Salah to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. We celebrate you in good faith and with a good heart. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah.